Okay then, I believe we are live. Let's just go through the checks and see, shall we? There shouldn't be anything of an issue. Indeed we are. There we go. And let me just check that all of the thumbnails and such are correct. And we should be good to go. Hello Jasdeep, good to see you. Yes, we are good, and I think we have all of the right things active as well. Marvellous. So we'll just give it a little bit more time for some people to filter in, and then we will get going. And hopefully today we will finally set the trend for the rest of this campaign. Hello Glorgy and R. Adams and Leo Games and Ranbia. Starting just a little bit earlier than half past the hour. I think it's better to be a little bit earlier than late, because that way you're not wasting anybody's time. It also gives us a little bit more wiggle room for how long the stream can go on for. But I'll tell you what, we may as well load into the campaign map at the very least. And just take stock, because we saved actually at the beginning of a turn, so we can spend a little bit of time considering what our next move shall be. But I think we're in a good position moving forward at this point. Like, we can't stamp out Isengard completely, but we can make it so they won't really be a problem going forward in the campaign, I think. If we can just set Rohan up enough before we start moving most of our forces back to Lothlorien, and then further east we should be fine. Hello, High King Fingolfin. But yeah, I definitely want to make more inroads into Dol Guldur, because ideally I want to get the Sylvan Alliance script to fire during this stream. If not, I want to leave it off in a place where we can do it right at the start of the next one. Jasdeep, if you had to choose your favourite Orc faction, which would it be? Do you mean in Reforged, Silmarillion, or this? Because that does make a bit of a difference, I have to say. I'm the mighty Uraki. Ah, yes, of course. Good to see you. In Isengard in this especially, I would say, are very resilient. They're probably a little bit different to the other Orc factions, noticeably so actually, I think. Well, I say that in Divide and Conquer, Gundabad are also set apart a little bit from the mould. Isengard in terms of style, I think you would definitely have to give it to them, because they've got that very iconic look for their Uruk-hai. Hello Calvin, good to see you. But yes, we are at the start of this turn now, and just to take stock of everything, so we had our army over here, didn't we? Yes indeed. Those are crossbowmen and the like. This is our diplomat. This is 2 infantry units that we had hanging out over here. There's Rockburg. Karas Galadon has got some units that we're sort of massing in there, sort of in anticipation of the Sylvan Alliance script. And Lim here, we have a few units in here as well. Race Riodion the Handsome. It's interesting. Physically flawless. But he has 37 men in the unit, so I would assume that this means he is just a regular general that is hanging out here. But I mean, technically speaking, with that in mind, we should probably move him up to Erui, so we've got a good governor in there. So you can go that way. And elsewhere, a Drychan has got some units in it. These two. Yeah, these two we can send back to Dol Guldur, I think, because we won't be moving out of Dol Guldur, I think, on the very first turn, but I think on the second turn I do want to be moving up to, I think the settlement over here is Ostin Gelil. And I think that's where we're going to go first. It gets us a little bit closer to Thranduil, and it's a little bit more likely then that we can get an alliance with him the closer we are in proximity. Elsewhere, yeah, he can stay in Limhir. Karas Galadon. What do I want to do with these archers? Do I want to send them east, or do I want to put them in Karas Galadon in preparation for the script? I'm thinking east, because I think we probably will want 2 armies on the go, going through Dol Guldur. As for over here, we've got... I think before we sort of leave Rohan and start trusting them to look after themselves, I think I will want to retake Helm's Deep for them, because at the very least it'll make Isengard's job much more difficult to become dominant again. I see you don't build a lot of towers, they cost only 15. Oh yeah, I will build towers. The fact I haven't built towers is more a fact of I've had to constantly move towards the enemy or engage, and I haven't really had time to deviate too much from the path to build towers. Hold on a second, I've just got to flick a switch. Leo Games, how can I play this game? I think the best way to, well, obviously you download Medieval 2 first and foremost, but I think if it's Divide and Conquer in particular you're after, I think Arakia, one of the lead mod developers for Divide and Conquer, has got like a really good video explaining the process of doing it, which to be honest with you nowadays, the big total conversion mods for Medieval 2 are even easier to install and play than they used to be. Calvin, how long are you streaming today? Probably about the same amount of time. I would sort of maybe just a little bit under 3 hours is probably the go-to. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, depending on where's a good place to leave it, it might be more, it might be slightly less even, depending on how we can set it up and how we can leave it for next time. Meanwhile, what have we got going on over here? This is a fairly large force actually, to the point where we actually probably want to stay in Foldberg for this turn. And wait for these Isengard armies to move elsewhere. We'll move our diplomat over here just so we can get a little bit more visibility.
I would fight for your people as if they were my own, friend.
That's interesting. Hopefully that Rohan army doesn't get... That's a big garrison as well. That's a decent Isengard force, that. Which is... not ideal, perhaps? There's an independent fort right there, which is kind of weird that Isengard never bothered to take that. So, wait a minute. I know we can train Ents in Isengard now. Can you already recruit Ents in Isengard? Yes, you can, as you can see, Fingolfin. But there is a rather long recruitment timer on them. 14 turns until we can recruit the next one, and then it takes 6 turns for them to recruit. I think we can recruit them in Rockburg eventually as well, but not for the moment. But Rockburg, it's a little bit more safe for us, because I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hold on to Orthanc, to be honest with you. I'm not really too bothered if we lose it, but the longer we hold on to it, the weaker Isengard are for it, so, yeah. This turn, though, I think we've got just him there. Yeah, we'll start moving you across. What can we do? What can we build is the question. We're already building a barracks in Lorien proper. We're building a stables there, so we can build something else in Adrychan, which is becoming more and more of a recruitment hub for us. And with that in mind, it's probably worth our while to actually go for a Master Builders Hall before we do anything else in there. And we can't recruit anything else for the moment anyway. So actually, yes, it's probably worth our while to just wait for a moment and see what Isengard do. Yeah. That's another good... I think that's Theoden himself, who's been in Odirith for quite some time, actually. Yeah, look at Rohan now, look. Since Rohan's survival stacks kicked in, they have been much more impressive, but that is also the case for Isengard since I took Orthanc. If you plan to abandon Isengard, destroy buildings there before... Yes, I will. I will do that, but if I see like a big Isengard stack trying to reclaim their land, that is exactly what I shall do. Be interesting to see what Isengard do here, actually. Rohan may have actually done themselves in there, because I think Isengard can probably take those armies one at a time, which is not ideal. Finally, I made it for this video. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. Oh. I think that was the Dwarven Diplomat, wasn't it? I think they finally moved off. Interesting to see what Khazad-dûm are actually trying to do. I think they're trying to go around and go for Goblin Town, which would make sense because they've been locked in a stalemate since the very beginning of this campaign against Moria. Is there Doomsday stacks? Well, there's survival stacks that have spawned for Isengard and for Rohan, actually. I think survival stacks will have spawned for Dol Guldur as well, but we never saw them. So I guess they went somewhere else and probably got killed by Dale. I think that's Khan's demise. The horn blast that is Khan is spent. The charging horsemen, the mounted archers, their arrows seem spent. Their energies are discharged and they have ridden too far, too fast. Their front lines are crumbling, their reinforcements late to the field, and must re-evaluate their strategy, else they be broken of the spears of their foes, transfixed by the weapons of those they sought so arrogantly to subjugate. That's actually not good for us, I think, because I think, based on what happened in the early game, Khan actually took the Blue Wizard's offer and were on the forces of good, because they did make peace with Gondor quite early on, and they've been constantly struggling, and considering their map position, that can only be from Mordor. So yeah, unfortunate to say the least. Right, what is this?
I'm gonna stick you.
Well, we could, I suppose, deal with this army with our force before moving forward. Right, hang on a moment. Let's go up here with our swordsmen. Continue to go over here with our archers. I think we've just recruited some more cav. Indeed we have. We can actually get the Hithrabin, or Hithrabin? My pronunciation for elven names is pretty poor at times, but yes. Our higher tier of cavalry unit, which is quite interesting. Unit pool at maximum. We'll hold off on that for a second, because cavalry isn't going to be too important there. A little bit more money from Erui. We could do with a general in Drychan as well, because that's definitely going to be a recruitment hub for us because of its elven culture. I must say, I've been a fan since before you had 1k subs. You've been here for a fair amount of time then, because that will have been 2017, I want to say. It was sort of within the first year that I had 1k. What's going on over here? Captain Radbug. You know what? I think it's worth our time actually to just get a shift on at this point. Just 2 units? Wow, that's not going to help out you very much, is it? Okay, well, nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Oh, you're joking, right? They're just out of range? That's really annoying. So we're going to lose Folkberg again, but as long as we can get Rohan to get Helm's Deep and Gainard, I'm not too worried about that, to be honest with you. What sort of army is that? That's the decently sized army, so we will actually start. We'll just go back over here, and I think that's just about it, because we can't build any more buildings for the time being, can we? Can we build one in a Ruina? Just Town Guard. Okay. Fair enough. It's all just a bit of a waiting game at the moment. That should be a victory for them, to be honest with you, where they're sieging. But yeah, that's a large amount of Rohirrim armies now, so they should be fine. And thank goodness for that, I must say. We can start getting back on track and start slogging our way through southern Mirkwood, doing what the campaign really kind of pushes you towards, but we've gotten a little bit sidetracked. The way things are going for Isengard as well, they won't actually be able to divert any resources to retake Orthanc, so we may get away with it and we may just be able to keep it, which would be really good from our point of view. certainly means that we can... Oh, the Council Master of Bree is dead. With the death of the late Council Master, the people have voted and his successor has taken office. The Lords know not whether to find... Okay, so the faction leader of Bree is dead. Caer Andros is under attack again. There's rioting in Foldberg, but that really doesn't concern me whatsoever. In fact, it concerns me so little. Wait a second. That's what I thought. Here we go. So let's just assault. Let's go. It's got a decent amount of soldiers in here, but most of them will be bound up in single units, and Caliborn and Rumil will be far too strong for them. And this will take away a good amount of strength for Isengard as well. It will mean they'll have to come and assault from one direction only. And we'll get to see Caer Andros, Helm's Deep on the battle map. The wrong way round, because obviously, you know, Isengard are defending it and the elves are trying to scale the walls, but such is the way of things. Okay, so they are almost certainly going to just camp out in the town centre. This might be a little bit fiddly because of the way Helm's Deep is. Hello, Aryen. So this is probably going to be, again, a little bit awkward, but not so much, I think, that it's going to be too concerning for us. Right. None of those two have got any special abilities. Right. So what are they doing? What have they actually got for a start? Uruk-hai archers, that's a little bit of a shame. Uruk-hai bodyguards, orc defenders. 2 units of Uruk-hai bodyguards, that's, you know, it's not a terrible stack, this, but we do outnumber them and we are elves, so ultimately we should be fine. But yes, we'll go straight into the keep. I think there's no real reason for us to go down the lower section. It'll put us more at risk, if anything. So you can fire at that. Right, what sort of... Like, the infantry is a little bit lower in numbers now. Most of this army's strength is bound up in the ranged units. But, I mean, the sellswords are decent. Very decent. Yeah, look at this. They're all just sat in there. So... yes, I think it is going to be a little bit awkward, but I think the best thing that we can do is probably go in here, try and draw them out of this this area here and get up onto the walls and start shooting down directly into them. I think that will be the best way to go about things. You should combine some of the units. Yeah, but I didn't because I wanted to be able to spread out just a little bit, but there's no real... Hopefully we can actually break this gate down and the ballista doesn't continue to miss. We should be fine. That would be most unfortunate if we were to not break through the gate, but we should be okay. Also, we can retrain some of these units when we park this army in Rockburg, as is the plan. This is what I intend to do, is make this Rumil's army and just have it be a defence in case Isengard is resurgent. And have just a small force there that I can quickly build up if needs be. Right. So, let's get you lot over here. And you. Only 7 of you, but we'll make it work. You can go there like so. And Caliborn can go up here, as can the Albereth Sentinels, as can Rumil. Sellswords can get up here, and the rest of the archers can bide their time. I think they can just wait out here, and I think that will be the situation. A rainy day, technically a day. It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of weird weather, to be honest with you. A raining dusk instead of a raining night, as it was in the movies. Ooh, hello. What do you think you're doing? Well, I mean, it's not going to go very well for you if you try and engage me in melee. Which is, I think, what they are going to try to do. Or at least get up close and personal. Let's see what we can do. Are they going to just sit there? Lothlorien Marchwardens.
The enemy's walls belong to us now.
The enemy's walls belong to us now. Quite so. Uruk-hai Raiders. We are going to lose quite a lot of units, I think, doing this. But as long as we can start moving up onto the walls, we're going to be absolutely fine. And all will be well. Sellswords, right. You actually need to get up around here. Right, Lothlorien Marchwardens, you go like so. And down here we can start shooting, not really at the archers because we don't need to. The raiders though. Can you shoot at anything? Or are you just going to stand there like fools? Okay, well if you're going to do that, then get over there. Then go the sellswords. Albereth Sentinels. Let's get you over there actually, just in case.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
So how is everyone today? Because the weather's taken a bit of a turn here. It's become a little bit autumnal now. There are the Berio E Engolith. You get over there like so. Yes, this is what I like to see. Are we going to get shot if we go over here? No, we're not, are we? So actually what we can do is get our Albereth Sentinels in there. And get our Berio E Engolith over here as well. It's a fine sight to see Celeborn and his boys. And let's see here. So I think we can shoot in through this little gap over here, because there is still a decent amount of units. There's one unit of Orc Defenders, which obviously they get for free. We can shoot into those Uruk-hai bodyguards, start doing some damage with the Albereth Sentinels. Of course, if the AI knew what they were doing, they could charge into and disrupt my Lothlorien Marchwardens, but they don't, fortunately for us. More the fool, them. Oh, they do, actually. I spoke too soon. Yes, be quick, Rumil. I can't believe I started out watching Pixelated Apollo when you used to do Third Age Total War Vanilla. I think that's where most people started, to be fair. There's actually some wargs down there, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even notice them. Well, they don't stand a chance on that front line now, do they? Actually, you get over here like this, Celeborn. And we'll get some archers down here to shoot into the side of them.
We must keep our borders safe.
Classic. Orc Defenders. Yeah, just shoot up in there, to be honest. Ooh, they're getting up here as well. That's less ideal. We should be okay. I think Celeborn's unit is just going to be too strong, to be honest. And when we can spare an infantry unit after crushing the forces down there, all is going to be well. They can't really use their wargs either because they can't escape. I've got spears on the front line. Yeah, look at that. Those Uruk-hai bodyguards going down. Celeborn not taking any losses. Those Elbereth Sentinels are actually not really helping, so you get back over here. Hey guys, finally showed up. Hello, Mediocre. Nice to see you. Orc defenders. Let's shoot into them. Oh, you just wait there, actually. There's no need to be concerned, I don't think. Lothlorien Marchwardens and the Berio Yengalaith up on the walls. Caliborn himself is actually right on the front line, which does concern me a little bit. Losing him would be quite unfortunate, but we should be okay, I think. In fact, just to... What's our healthiest unit of infantry down here? It's this unit of spears. Let's get a unit of spears off the front line and get them up here attacking these orc defenders, try and break them. Spent my weekend getting Dakin reforged. Excellent. Just try and break things up just a little bit more. Can we shoot those wargs? I think we can. Hopefully Caliborn's HP carries him through that fight, because it's not as if he's up against low quality trash by any means. That unit of spears should put a spanner in the works at least. Let's get a unit of archers in here as well. In fact, we can position them such that we can get them right behind the enemy, even if they get locked in morale. I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest with you.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we're still shooting directly down into them with the Elbereth Sentinels. Yeah, that's perfect as well. It's point blank. You're going to get some really nice damage, even though they are really heavily armoured Uruk-hai. It's almost too good to pass up that opportunity. Those spears are going to struggle a little bit, but it is breaking things up quite nicely for Caliborn. Can't believe there's still Gerthinen alive on the front line, to be honest with you. There are only 7 of them at the start of this battle. Defeat seems certain for the Orc defenders. I mean, I am quite lucky that it's mostly Orc defenders, to be honest with you. That I mean, Caliborn himself is sort of going like right in here. Right, can we just back up just a tad and see if we can shoot directly into the back of them? There goes the enemy general. Yeah, I think we're good. Keep shooting at them, please. Wargs. That is a big rout there. Did the Uruk-hai bodyguards just rout? That'd be kind of interesting. Caliborn's bodyguard unit is just such a nice thing. Yeah, they routed. Uruk-hai bodyguards. Oh yeah, let's get the Berio Yengalaith over here as well, why not? Well, there we go. Perfect. Only 36 elves lost as well. Hi. Hello, Owen. Good to see you. I'll take 36 losses only, considering it was a bit of a pit fight in there. I mean, most of it was Uruk-hai archers, but raiders can land a decent hit or two. And it's not as if I'm rolling with anything other than my basic stuff, really. Sellswords are a little bit above, can punch a little bit above their weight, but hello, Isaac. Well, that's them gone. Hopefully this is the beginning of the end for Isengard now.
We've defeated their wretched armies.
We've defeated their wretched armies. Oof, look at all of this orc filth that they've built within Helm's Deep. I'm not going to be keeping Helm's Deep though. That's something I want Rohan to have, because it'll be much easier for them to remain on their feet with with Helm's Deep, Eamond. That's a good point, actually. Is Theoden even still alive? I mean, it would have shown up a it would have shown up a little message if he was dead, wouldn't it? So no need to worry ourselves with that. Right, you get into Dol Guldur. You move down here. We're building up quite a nice force in here as well. In fact, you two are the same level of expertise, so you combine with each other, I think. And swordsmen. We'll leave those swordsmen. They're still decently numerous. Can we build anything else in here? Yes, we already had a look at that, didn't we? And we're not going to just for the moment. You over here. We'll build another unit of Lothlorien sentries, though. Try and get as much of our basic infantry out onto the field as possible. Hello there, Llama Boy. Which units will have their base model from Vanilla 3rd Age, or still have their vanilla models? The Knights of Enuminus do, I know that. A lot of the basic runic units at their lowest tier do. The Flag Rim and the Gamp Rim do. I think actually, if you look at the like stuff like the Flag Rim models, like they're really detailed. So someone put a lot of effort into them back for Vanilla 3rd Age. Like really, very, very, very nice indeed. And I think that's just about it that we can do for this turn. In fact, I will save it because I am a little bit suspicious of crashes. Over here, yeah, we can't. We're already building stuff in most places, to be honest with you. So let's just continue. Yeah, the Uruk-hai, the Elder Enway. There's a few lower tier Orc archers and Snaga as well that are still vanilla. But then, like, I think with lower tier stuff, I think it's obviously when people update the models, they tend to make them more ornate and stuff. But that's not really something you can do with the lowest tier of Orc. All you can really do is like change the look of it somewhat. And the Misty Mountains heavy goblin units have remained the same as well. But then they're another example where you do see them in the movies in Moria, albeit very briefly, but you do. So they have like a set look, much like the Uruk-hai. So, you know, the wiggle room to change it is dubious. But I think that's fine. I quite like the sort of the look of the goblins. Civil Revolt. Oh, they're Orthanc has been reclaimed. Okay. Erebor is besieged. The dwarves of Erebor are used to many skirmishes with the transient beasts and foes striking northward. However, now the very region is in turmoil from a host of the dwarves' enemies that arrogantly lay siege to their homelands. Catapults blast stones against the defiant walls, leaving not a scratch nor a dent. The defenders are holed up behind strong walls with a sturdy and hardy will. Breaking dwarves is no easy matter, and breaking dwarves in their impossibly strong capital will be a challenge like no other. Will this just be another wave of dire filth, or does it mark the beginning of the end? I'm not too concerned about losing Isengard, to be honest with you. It's a shame, but it is what it is. This actually might be a good thing, to be honest with you, because look at that garrison. That is a beast of a garrison, and Rohan or Isengard are going to struggle to take that. And that acts as a really effective buffer, actually, between the two. So that actually might end up being not a bad thing at all. Right. First things first, let's get you lot out of here. You, I will gift you.
Good to see you, my friend.
I will give a region. Hornburg. I will give you Hornburg, my friend.
No, we cannot agree to this now.
What? Why? What? Bizarre. Really, really bizarre. I really don't understand how, like, well, no matter.
Well, that seemed fruitful. Farewell.
Bullshit did it seem fruitful. That's awkward, to be honest with you. I'm literally giving them free stuff and they're saying no. That's I did offer it as a gift. Didn't I? What's the difference between just offering it and offering it as a gift? I'm not asking for anything in return. Again, that doesn't make any sense. It's a It's an intricacy that doesn't need to be there.
I'm gonna stick you.
Again, like, that shouldn't even be an option. In fact, I'm gonna reload that save then, because again, I'm not being done in by the. Because it doesn't really make any sense. Like, if you're just offering it for free, that's the same thing as offering it for a gift. Like, it shouldn't. Again, it's something that there shouldn't need to be the distinction. Right, and that was that, wasn't it? Yes, we just took that, and we've just finished this turn, I believe.
By the light of Elbereth.
Yes, we did. Dorwinian apparently is still doing well. Gondor have been the true MVPs of this campaign, though, to be honest with you, just based on what we can see of their map control. They've done really, really well. The Chad Denethor against the Virgin Theoden. Okay, let's see if this time we can actually get around the strangeness of Medieval 2. Who says no to a castle offered to them for free by people you know have got no ulterior motive? Well, I mean, just as I was saying that the Denethor was doing his doing his thing, he dies. So, you know, rest in peace, Denethor. Erebor is besieged. That's really unfortunate. Again, this never needed to happen, because I shouldn't have had to need to reload. It's so stupid.
Come, my brothers. Elves, onward.
Right.
My lord,
You.
dear friends, what can we do for you today? I accept this wonderful deal with pleasure.
Right, goodbye.
The pleasure was all ours. Farewell.
Right, what have we got over here?
Gonna stick you.
A really small army.
Orders.
What have we got over here?
Taste of my
A
blood.
bigger army.
Assail them. Our lands will be safe once more. Scatter them.
Excellent.
Protect the elven lands. Come, my
Right, I'll be glad to be rid of this cursed land.
elves.
You're on your own now, boys.
Come on. Form up.
Right, you
For the light.
move up here.
Onward.
You are still in there. We're still building a master builder's hall in there. We can't build any more units. You. We can build some units in here though, which is nice. Do we have any? No, we don't have any leather tanners, do we? That's a shame. Mines though, that would be very, very nice. It'll be like scraping the barrel in terms of money coming in for a time anyway. But yes, sod it. We'll get some. In terms of units, actually, we're probably alright for the time being. I can't wait for Rohan to lose Helm's Deep immediately. That would just be... that would be peak for this campaign. It really would. When you do it just as an offer, the AI expects to give something back, and they don't want to do that, so they reject it. Yeah, again, but it's one of those things where the AI shouldn't feel obligated to send something back. It's, again, it's an intricacy, I think, that doesn't need to be there, and I'm glad they removed it in later games. Because in later games, if you just offer something and say you want nothing back, the AI will just accept it as, oh, well, they just want to give it to us. Which, again, is common sense. Oh, lovely. They marched in from nowhere.
Defend these lands.
So we're going to lose another general. he's doomed. I'm just automatically resolving it. Yep, that general died. Rip. But now I'm rubbing my hands together really, because Dol Guldur are about to be I'm going to send the full weight of all that I can produce on the field their way, and they're about to be done for. There's not going to be anything left of them by the time I'm done with them, and hopefully this stream can be the stream where we truly just wipe them away. Things have really taken a bit of a turn for the worse for the Free Peoples of Middle-earth this time around, haven't they? The Dwarven King is dead. Which Dwarven King, though? Is that Balin or Dane? The Variags of Khand have lived. They're... Oh, I see. So that's like Khan's Doomstacks reappearing. Hornburg is reclaimed. Erebor has fallen. Oh no. So it's Dane. Osgiliath is under attack. Look, for crying out. I'm not slowing my march down anymore to deal with 2 stacks from Isengard. You go this way. You go in there. Wow, this is all of a sudden, like, again, it's because I would have been making more progress of my own if not for the fact that I've been having to mess around with Isengard being super annoying for several dozens of turns at this point. So we got this guy, who I guess is like the replacement for the dude we just lost, so he can do his thing. We can start building watchtowers in the southern region of Rockburg as well. We can't actually afford to build anything at the moment, so I suppose that is that. Erebor should have their Doomstack spawn now, so like they should be okay, really. Like, they may have lost Dane, but I can't imagine they'll fall away quite so easily. I do know that Gundabad are not a faction full of trash, though, which might be the reason why they've managed to force the dwarves back. It's the one thing that would surprise me about that is they've decided to go for Erebor over Anduin Vale, who you would imagine would be a softer target and would offer a lot of fertile lands for growth. But what do I know? But yeah, we need to get a shift on here. We need to bury Dol Guldur and start making this work for us, because now I think it's going to... Dale are going to have problems coming their way, obviously, but they should be strong enough to withstand for a while. And Erebor still have that fortress in the east. What's it called? Kirik Gathol, I think it is. That region. Right. You lot. Keep marching this way. You can go up here. They're going to take that fort as well. It's just one unit as well. That's infuriating. What the hell is Thranduil doing? I think Thranduil's doing alright, to be honest, because it has said that Mirkwood is prospering, so I think it's fine. Can we build anything here? No, because our income is not so good at the moment.
Yes, my lord.
Right, you go over there. Massing up a decent force, Marchwardens and the like. I mean, at this point it's just a long march north with Celeborn and his boys. Maybe the Sylvan Alliance script will have to wait until the next part, because I think we do need to pour most of our efforts here into ridding the land of Dol Guldur. So I think the forces of good do need a bit of a boost. It is interesting though that Mordor haven't really been the scourge on the land. Oh, we're going to lose Isengard. To be fair, I didn't even realise we still had it. No matter. Isengard will survive to fight another day, but Rohan are resurgent, Enedwaith is still doing reasonably well, and in spite of Denethor's death, Gondor still seem to be doing alright. Western Moria besieged. Khazad-dûm seem to be doing a little bit better. The One Ring is in Kharn-dûm. I think this is how we do want to deal with Mordor, to be honest with you, but I need the One Ring to spawn. If it spawns in Goblin Town again, I might go for it, to be honest with you, but not in Kharn-dûm. It's way too far away. It'll take me, like, 25 turns just to walk there. Right. We'll mass a force in a Dry Charn. Oof, we're losing money. Right, what shall we take out? You go in there. And I think we will just put all of you in there as well. And then the rest of this little force here can start heading this way. We can start doing our thing. Oh, for Christ's sake. Khazad-dûm. That's just one unit, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, that being the case, let's just send a little detachment force out then. You're done for, my friend. This is the thing that bothered me the most about Thrones of Britannia, to be honest with you, when the AI does little things like that and just gets one unit or two. Although in Thrones of Britannia it was much more damaging because you could lose half your realm from that happening. But it's always been annoying in Total War games where the AI just... like, it's not really effective in any way, it's just annoying. Right, we're going to reset ourselves and go again. That's what's going to happen. I'm kind of surprised Rune hasn't started to move up yet. Well, Rune have been struggling against Dorwinian, Paul, though. At least that's what I assume is happening, because Rune's leader died and Dorwinian are prospering. So, I mean, that's the reason why I would certainly assume that Erebor were conquered by Gundabad and not Rune going up around the edge of the map. Hello, Lewis Drew. Good to see you. Ara-Dunaim. They're probably a bit of a thorn in the side now. Yes, sure. Go this way. We are losing money at a rather alarming rate now. We can go into this fort here. What are we doing? Now we're gaining money. We've got some units in the fort. Very nice. Right, you're still doing your thing. Right, we can't build anything at the moment, which I guess makes our life a little bit easier, to be honest with you, because it means that we know exactly what we need to do. Yep. Will you do an Ara-Dunaim campaign after this one? We gave Hornburg back to Rohan, Lewis Drew. That's pretty much the only thing of note that's happened so far. I don't know what campaign I'll do next. I think I'll sort of draw up a short list of ones that I find interesting, and I think that would be one of them, and then I'll probably put it to a vote, to be honest with you. Angmar, I think, are another one that is interesting. Probably an evil campaign of some description. That's just what I said. Oh well. So that's good timing. But yes, I think I would be doing an evil faction next. Ooh, you're coming back for another go, are you, Dumbledore?
We must protect the people.
I think they're just trying to besiege me there. No need to be concerned about that, I don't think. Erebor retaken. Ever have the dwarves been a sturdy race, but today they have shown there is a fight left in the solitary warriors. Like an impenetrable force, stoic and taciturn, their army has struck like a hammer and retaken Erebor, with thoughts of Smaug still burning in their hearts, and the shame he brought upon them. They fought with a fury and vengeance renewed, sweeping the great halls and killing all in their path as they screamed to the high roof, Baruch Khazad, Khazad I Menu. With the mountain reclaimed, they can now stride forward with axe in hand and a vengeful heart to annihilate their foes. Thank goodness for that. Osgiliath is under attack. Yep.
Come, my brothers.
Go over here like so.
Stay alert.
And you two join his army.
Reinforcements.
So I think we're still going to be losing... No, actually we've got a lot of profits now. And we still have these units over here which we can move up. What sort of army is this? A pretty big army, to be honest with you, including a lot of generals, but most of it, again, just looking at it, is the kind of garbage we've wiped away from Dol Guldur with complete ease before, and now we've got even more units at our disposal in there, so I have to say I'm not all that worried, to be honest with you. I think we should be absolutely fine. And I think... Ooh, what's going on here? Anduin Vale has come to our aid. The first useful thing that Anduin have done, albeit... I would have... I say the first useful thing Anduin have done. I think I actually probably would have preferred to remain within Dol Guldur to do this battle, to be honest. But you know what? It's the first time we'll get to fight alongside our allies from the northern section of the river. Gondor is being like a wall still after withstanding a lot of pressure. I think it'll probably get a little bit worse for Gondor now though, because if it was Khand that was giving them that help, Khand are dead, so it gives Mordor basically the ability to commit their full force against Gondor, which is probably why Osgiliath is under more pressure now. Right, where be Anduin? Oh. Ooh. We're over here. We arrive. We've got them between us, so I mean that's something. And we do need to sort of move forward somewhat quickly so that we can assist. Otherwise they will struggle mightily. That's our Lorien scouts. Where's Haldir? Can you hurry up and get onto the field? He's the most important part of this jigsaw. Please don't charge in unthinkingly. They're going to do it, aren't they?
The battle seems to be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory.
Well, I mean, if they want to take most of the brunt of the force, I'm all right with that. Archers over here like so. Cavalry over there. Spears. They can just sit in behind the archers because the wargs are really the only thing I'm truly concerned about. I would prefer it, to be honest, if our swordsmen never saw combat. Swords. Yeah, you go over here. Swords, go over there. Spears, up over here. What is that? Orc maulers? Oh man. Charge forwards. Charge forwards. You're the healthy unit of spears, so you go over here. Actually, you do that as well. I think they're quite suicidal, my allies, actually. They are charging right into the guts of the army. But, I mean, maybe they've got some decent units. Let's see. Well, Bjorning shield bearers. Woodsman warriors. Woodman trackers. I mean, this... probably not. Hello, I've arrived. Hello, Joseph. We've retaken Helm's Deep for Rohan. We have done their job for them. Oh, they've got some artillery as well. That's not bad. And now we are fighting alongside the Anduin Vale to try and defeat a Dol Guldur force which was trying to besiege Dol Guldur. Okay, hold on. You go here like so. Haldir can do the same. And you lot charge in that way. Oh, for crying out loud. You're done for, just accept your fate. No, my units aren't listening to me. They're tripping over themselves. Classic medieval 2. And I'm going to get charged. I mean, I got a rock in the way at least. Move! Charge!
Our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. That's unbelievable.
The battle is very much in our
Well,
favor.
rip.
Victory will be ours.
That's actually really annoying. Wow. Are you serious? That wasn't even a good charge, really. He wasn't even charging into the same unit. Well. That's actually made me genuinely angry. How... Well...
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
That's really, really unbelievable. What are they doing? That's really deflating. But would you fuck right off? What's up, Nadia?
In our favor. Victory will be ours.
And it's... I wouldn't mind, but this battle shouldn't even be happening. Like, the Anduin Vale dragged me into a battle that should never really have happened. I was perfectly comfortable. And there are still wargs alive. Oh. My concentration's gone as well, really, following that. That's really, really disappointing.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
I know that charges are strong in Medieval 2, but I was under the impression that like a half charge, like the ones those wargs got off there, wouldn't be able to kill a high-ranking general like that because of how many hit points they've got, but I guess I was wrong. That's a strange thing to say. Hi Ricky, you just missed the demise of Chaldea as a result of the game really screwing me over. But he is dead. And I'm actually just going to leave the Anduin army to their fate at this point. Like they have failed me in every way possible by dragging me into this battle. Like they have honestly like done me a lot of damage by doing that. Completely unnecessary battle that they dragged me into. And as we're actually going to take a fair amount of losses from this battle just in general because of the lack of concentration I've displayed as well. But no matter.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will
This
be
is just a
ours.
battle I want to be over at this point. This is why I'm so like people always say don't worry about committing your general, like they'll do the job, but this is why I'm so paranoid about doing it, because I know what this game's like. Like your general can die in an instant, and it's very frustrating to see that happen to a unit which I've been quite reliant upon for this campaign. I'm even quite tempted to just break my alliance with Anduin, to be honest with you, because I'm tired of them just in general. Like, they need to go. I suppose it keeps the campaign somewhat interesting, because it means we have sustained a major loss, but that isn't quite the way that I wanted that to go. Just as we were actually starting to build up as well and start... Well, we can still do it without Haldir, but it would have made our life so much easier if he was being on the front line. Very disappointing. But it does sort of play into my paranoia about generals, and I will not be using them aggressively in the future, because they're still made of tinfoil even with all their hit points. It's one of the reasons why I was actually quite concerned about Caliborn fighting up on those walls. It's a unit of Galathram archers we're going to lose effectively as well. Those are a bodyguard. Get over there and shoot them. That, I think, is pretty much that. Dolgaldor host can turn around and shoot or kill them. Okay. Right. Get around them and surround them. I think that was my cavalry I just lost as well. Is it not? I think it is. Yeah, this battle's been a complete disaster, but my head went halfway through that battle, to be honest with you. I can't believe Haldir died from that. That's ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to carry on with the campaign as it is, because you should have to live with losses and such. You can't expect everything to just go off without a hitch, but I'm disappointed that that is how he died. Like, that's not... Again, like, I'm salty about that, and I think I've got good reason to be. That unit of Uruk bodyguard is as it is. I mean, Dolgaldor are going to lose 3 generals. Yeah, Numenorians are just like man plus, basically. They're just a little bit better. Right, what have we got going on here? That unit of Uruk bodyguards getting ripped apart by what remains of Haldir's unit. And this gentleman should be following shortly behind my slain general.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Any of you still remaining? No, you may as well just get into melee, to be honest with you. And that is going to be that. Another enemy general falls. And the final enemy general will fall.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down. This is a clear victory.
A clear victory. It feels like probably the most stinging defeat we've had in this campaign so far. I'm actually growing to hate the Anduin Vale. They've been nothing but a liability throughout this entire campaign. Execute all of them. And a portion of their army actually survived, which is perhaps all the more disappointing. But Dol Guldur isn't going to survive, I think, beyond this stream, because I do have the ability now to start marching through their territory with quite a lot of units. Haldir or no, I think we should be fine, and it is canonical that Haldir perished after all, at least in the movie continuity. Karandros is under attack. Right, let's have a little look here. So Haldir is... Yep, he is RIP. He is gone. So, right, let's see. This little group can move forward ever so slightly. Oh, that's nothing. Nothing to us. What are you doing? Can we... We're going to retake this land here. We're going to fight this one, because if I were to auto-resolve, it wouldn't surprise me if Celeborn were to die as well. But now, with great paranoia, I'm going to make sure that Celeborn is completely safe. Right. There's no real sense in us actually going to the top of that hill, because I don't think we really need to. Go in behind here. No. No. So I think if we just line it up nicely. Generals don't die in auto-resolve. I don't believe that for a second. I bet you've never seen Haldir die from a warg charging at him at 2 miles an hour either, but it happened here. Only the best world firsts here. See if we can... Well, seeing as this is a siege, it wouldn't surprise me actually if they just sat there. Uruk Slayers. Shame that Feanor and had 7 sons and none of them or their descendants survived. Yeah, shoot them. Actually, we're just going to stagger things a little bit. You move backwards just a little bit. You start shooting into them. And Mirkwood Uruks. Yeah, sure, why not? Start tearing them up. They don't have shields. Part of the deal with the elves, they were supported by the Valar. Maglor might still be alive. These Uruk Slayers, though, they look fairly mean, bit more heavily armoured. This is a sign that Dol Guldur are getting their better units out onto the field, so we do need to be a little bit careful now. But not so careful that we need to be hyper aware of them. Stuff like Mirkwood Uruks, I think, is still... Oof, that was a nice shot. This ballista's really earning its keep this time. Actually, I keep shooting at them. You go after the Slayers as well, actually. Any collateral damage done to the Mirkwood Uruks is a bit of a bonus. That's unfortunate that that didn't hit. Move forward with these two just a little bit. Just keep firing in with them. Sellswords go over here. The sentries go there. The Gerthenian can stay back here with the artillery piece. Shoot at the Uruk Slayers. Perfect. This is a little bit more by the books as far as elven warfare goes. More akin to what we were doing at the start of the campaign. But we do need to start getting some of our stronger units out onto the field. But we do have the ability to now. As long as we start making money, we can start building some stronger units in Karas Galadon. But I think actually we may as well go up to ×2 speed until all of our ammunition has been expended. Excellent. I think we're probably going to be able to get away with just using our archers here actually, which means we will take this settlement with no casualties whatsoever. Which is exactly what we want to see after the after the disaster that befell us. Oh, I got a super chat. Indeed I did. Thank you, Arjen. I have to get going, but I wanted to send this as a small token of my appreciation for your content. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Your name is... It looks Scandinavian, but I think Arjen is a name that I've also seen used in the Netherlands. And I think that is going to be that. That is their general, I think, so we'll see if we can't shoot him. There we go. And 0 soldiers lost. Doesn't make up for the loss of Haldir, but it does at least bring us just that little bit closer to actually making some genuine progress and crushing Dol Guldur under our heel. Yeah, well, I can actually, depending on how quickly I look up, will depend on whether I actually see the super chat. Because, like I said, my setup is kind of a little bit strange in the sense that I have to use like the Xbox app in YouTube to sort of see the chat as it goes by at the same time. But I can only see so many of the most recent messages. You not go there. Right, what are we doing in terms of money now? Making a lot, actually. A lot of cash. That can stay there like so. Isengard continuing to struggle. Actually, I think now as well we can start moving this guy off, because there's nothing really else we need from Rohan. Look at all of those armies. They finally got something on the go, which is nice to see. But I think now... What is this? A dreadful army is what it is. Right, we'll save it just in case of a crash. Which means, of course, Haldir is now dead forever. A $1 million donation, I wish. Maybe if some oil baron or other such billionaire takes a liking and he just decides to fund me forever. Or maybe 1 million, like a hyperinflated currency. Like, I think Zimbabwe is the one that's got like a really hyperinflated currency, isn't it? Or Venezuela, where like $1 million in such countries is like I don't know. I think that there's probably an upper limit, to be honest with you. I think YouTube would probably ask questions if someone got a $1 million donation, because there'd be all sorts of things you could do with regards to money laundering for that, and that's obviously not what you want to allow happening on your site. They would get into some serious trouble if dodgy activities such as that were going on. What's going on here? End of turn report, faction announcements, retinue expands. Cool, right. We've got this guy over here, Orifin. What is that?
I'm gonna stick you.
Right, Dol Guldur. What can we do? Can we build any units in here yet? We can actually. So the culture has, I think, changed. It's flicked over, which actually means I think we can. So we can retrain units of sentries and of spears. So with that in mind, I think we will actually. Or can we? Cannot add this unit as recruitment. It's being auto. Oh yeah, we need a general in there. Well, right.
Follow me.
You come in here actually, and we'll leave a couple of units behind actually, just in case they do try to go around once again. What is going on here? Look what I have come upon. Ooh. Okay. Can I get you? I can. 32 soldiers lost, that's not such a problem. They're going to attack, aren't they, next turn? So actually I'm going to do the smart thing now and actually retreat from that settlement, because otherwise they're just going to wipe out another general, and I really don't want that to be the case. Let's see. Can I build anything good here? I can build a lot of good things actually, including the Sentinels of Caer Amroth. Which actually I'm going to start doing right now. Yavanna's Chosen? Sure, why not? And I've got 903 remaining that I can spend on something. But I'm actually not going to do that for now. Okay. I'm going to stick you. I'm going to stick him with his sword. One of the orcs says that to Merry and Pippin, doesn't he, when like all hell breaks loose in that Uruk-hai camp, when the Rohirrim attack it. Hello, Dustin. Good to see you. Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. They really are like just delaying me indefinitely here, Dol Guldur. Like it's... I need more like armies on the front line at this point, because we're still trapped, even though we're now able to focus fully on them. But I'm determined to be able to expand like this part without constant harassment of this little village over here. At least Rohan seem to be getting their house in order, which is good to see. Oh, did they just take Foldberg? I think they did. Erebor's under siege again, but that's not really anything we can assist with. There's rioting in there, but they just took it anyway, so that's their problem now. One unit of them. We do actually have a... What's going on in there now? A garrison force of... that's a poor garrison actually, isn't it? Let's take this back now. We will need to manually fight this one again though, I think. Yeah, I'm not willing to take that risk. You read the books and seen the movies at least? Search for a YouTube called Men of the West. Yes, a good channel that one is. Would definitely recommend that one. Let's see here. Yes, we will attack from the same side, I think, because the hill is more trouble than it's worth, especially when we've got a ballista to look after. So if we put our ballista about there, we can get that into a position there. We are missing an extra general, but we do have a unit of Lothlorien Marchwardens now instead, which, to be honest with you, is probably better in terms of dealing damage than the Elbereth Sentinels we had before. Right. You stand there like so. Again, ever since Haldia's demise, I am... They have a cave troll. But yes, that's something that Dustin probably won't appreciate too much, the fact that we lost Haldia before he arrived. Most unfortunate. But I guess it's sort of, again, he just has to... It's always in his nature to be killed, I guess. The way in which he met his end was antagonising, but I'm not sad he was killed, because it adds some spice to the campaign, but like the way he was killed is quite annoying. Haldir is gone. He got hit by a warg as it was travelling like really, really slowly, and apparently that was enough to kill him. So wargs, man, you've got to look out for them. They are strong. They'll get you. Like, he got mildly bumped into by a warg, and that was enough for him to be ended. Yes, shooting right along the line here. That'll be good for the ballista. Yeah, just shoot them actually. Right, this should be a lot of damage being pumped down range now. Yeah, that's what I thought. Leave this place. It's one of the reasons, stuff like that happening is the reason why I'm so paranoid to use my generals, to be honest with you. Maybe Caliborn would have fared a little bit better, but who knows. Orc hunters. What's going on there? Orc fighters. I mean, a lot of these units are of poor quality, so we should be fine. These units are heavily depleted as well. Right, I know what we're going to do. We're going to park you up on this hill with our March Wardens quickly, and you, they're leaving the area apparently. They don't want to involve themselves anymore, which is bizarre, but you know what? Who am I to judge? You two go over here like so. Wargs are strong, but orcs ride them. We've got two dogs called Wesley and Maisie. Right. Berioti and Goliath. Orc fighters. Get our March Wardens in place. Now we've got March Wardens out on the field as well. Like, we can start producing March Wardens as a regular unit. Like, to be honest, we should be in a pretty good place to do massive damage at range, because they're really damaging. Orc hunters. They've got fighters. Just fighters, though. Keep an eye on that. Just move the ballista back a little bit. Yeah, they're taking a lot of damage here. These orc fighters, they're unshielded as well, are they not? Which is going to be a big concern for them as this fight continues. Ooh, you've made a mistake. Can't wait for Caliborn to be killed by a lone orc fighter. That would just about complete things, wouldn't it? Again, that wasn't a particularly impressive charge either. Come on, lads, what's going on? Sort it out. Charge back into them. Charge speed! Again, not impressive at all. Yeah, shoot at them. Right. Do you fancy charging in now, or are you still just fine to I know these guys have got spears because I've seen them get them out before, but they just seem to be incapable of using them at this point in time. Okay, well, that being the case, let's get some infantry on the case instead. This would be a nightmare for someone who has problems with overly micromanaging stuff, because it's something you're encouraged to do so much as Lothlorien. Yeah, those Marchwardens are going to do the business. Sellsword should be excellent at doing that. Mirkwood Goblins. We'll just keep them firing at the orcs, to be honest with you. Hunters, not a concern at all. Actually, we can charge into this lot over here, can't we? Actually, we will move the ballista over here as well, because we might be able to shoot over the houses. Right, will we get up to charge speed this time? It should be enough to honestly bulldoze through these orc fighters. There we go, that was charge speed.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
That's the end of him. And that's the end of them, just in general. Move forwards there. Easy bots. I think most Total War AI, to be honest with you, is going to be fairly simple, especially in Med 2. In Med 2, the difficulty of the AI's actual play doesn't change regardless on difficulty. It only makes a difference to morale, which, to be honest with you, is only going to make, especially if you're in a situation like this, for example, where you're the elves fighting against the orcs, the difference that makes is going to be fairly negligible, because you're always going to have an advantage there, regardless of what difficulty you are on. Shoot the orc fighters. Yeah, those are finished off. Good. Pull back. It's nice to have some cavalry to be able to do that now, even if it's maybe not the strongest cav around. Yeah, these orc fighters aren't going to last too long under this arrow storm anyway. I prefer campaign and thus divide and conquer, but many find the AI boring. Well, I think campaign has also got the advantage of having a bit of extra flavour to it. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the reforged and divide and conquer sort of dynamic, that is the way to look at it, yeah. Continue to fire at them. Hopefully we can get some really nice ballista volleys into those hapless Mirkwood Goblins. You ready for that 20 stack of wargs? Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for Celeborn to die by like tripping on a stone or something, and that being the end of him. Well, you shoot at them actually, orc maulers. And you shoot at the Mirkwood Goblins as well. Marvellous. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Now we're going to be in a good position. In fact, we can charge into the rear of them here with this. Let's not use the ballista anymore, though. Friendly fire is abound.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah, now we're in. Now it's going to be good. Still some maulers over there, which we do need to be a little bit careful of. Celeborn learns of Haldir's death, he will die of sadness. I wouldn't put it beyond the elves, to be honest with you. They do seem the type that would that would be the case for. I didn't even need them in the end. Will the charge be enough to finish them? There's one Dogaldor scout, really? Shoot him. We didn't kill all of them. Oh man, you hate to see it. Alright, the Marchwardens are still firing. I think the Marchwardens might be one of my favourite looking units as well. I just like their sort of quite understated looks almost, but it's, you can still tell that they're ready for battle. Like the regular Lorien units are a little bit lightweight. I'm glad for these sellswords as well. They've proven to be a really useful unit actually. They've really helped to bulk things out. Rasputin. Is Imladris still alive? Oh yeah, Imladris are fine. They've been unmoving throughout this entire campaign, as you would expect, really.
Our men have taken control of the city. We've lost control of the city.
The grey colour scheme is a nice one, though. I think grey is one of those colours that can be quite underrated for making a nice looking aesthetic. Calvin did a super chat, did he? I may have missed that one. In which case, hold on a second, let me just check it out. Yes, he did. Thank you very much, Calvin. Sellswords are the mercenary unit I have. 16 losses, that's not too bad. So I'm just thinking, so King Dane is dead, Haldir is dead, Imrahil is dead, Denethor is dead, Khamul is dead, Saruman is dead. Who else? The Loka Khan of Rune is dead, the Chieftain of Khand is dead. It's a lot of deaths, a lot of losses, a lot of names. Lost. Amazingly, Theoden still clings to life, though. Despite his questionable performances, he is still out here doing his thing. Right, let's occupy this. You lot get back in there. And elsewhere, let's see. We have got units that can be trained, units that need to be trained, really. So let's go for that. A leather tanner isn't a terrible idea, considering this is now a recruitment hub and it's something we can build right away. Can we build anything in here? A leather worker? Again, it's another recruitment hub, so we may as well. We're low on money at this point, but at this point I just need to be... The increases are needed. Elrond and Círdan are still alive. I'd be really surprised if either of them fell, to be honest with you. Like, Elrond in Rivendell is... Moria could spend 1,000 turns, I think, and still not take Rivendell as the AI. And Círdan starts in probably the safest part of the map. Unless Ered Luin go evil, but they haven't, because they have allied with the Northern Dunedain. But even then, to be honest, I think Ered Luin... In the command of the AI, I would still back the elves to do the business there. At least in the AI and auto-resolving and so on. On the field, Ered Luin's focus on pikes and crossbows would maybe make them an awkward opponent to face. What is going on here? Mission failed. Take Eisenrun. Yeah, that's not going to be happening anymore. Relations improved. With the Dark Lord of Mordor, man, Sauron's loving it. He is impressed. What is this? Another army? Maybe it would behoove us to go this way, because there's a settlement down and around here, isn't there? Maybe that is the maybe that's the answer. Right, you over here. Let's roll out. I don't feel the need to use this spy down here anymore, to be honest. Look at this. What's he doing? You don't need more armies, dude. Just go forwards. I would love to have this many armies. I know that some of them are probably depleted, but look at this. He's just massing up a massive force. How did Haldir fall? He got charged by a warg. What's more important? Your education or supporting me? Well, that's definitely your education, whoever you're talking about. We've got money. Money to spend, an armourer. That's really tempting, actually. Going for an armourer there. But I think it's more important, honestly, to get some quantity out onto the field at this point. So I will actually start recruiting units first and foremost. A leather tanner. Yeah, let's just go for spears. I think spears is a good choice at this point. Rockberg. What can we actually build here? Not much, but a vineyard might not be a bad idea. Let's just save it real quick just in case of an errant crash. Let's go. I hear you mad answering questions, but I don't see anything. Refresh? Must be a refresh thing, yeah. Because the chat is still rolling forward from my perspective. Perhaps you're not on the live section. Sometimes it, yeah, like, sometimes just refreshing and checking the settings you're on. But with live stuff, some things can certainly break on YouTube's end. The internet is a fickle thing. Thranduil, is he making progress? Can it be true? The Moot Lord of Enidwaith is dead. That's a shame, because Enidwaith are on side and they are doing the thing. A Bladesmith's Guild? Yeah, sure, why not? This is going to be more and more of a recruitment centre. An army? Spears? What is this? I mean... that's very bold of you, if I'm being honest. Very bold. To the point of stupidity. See, when I see a balance of power like that, it's still... Let's just see what happens. 84 losses. Okay. Execute them all. Lord Celeborn the Unstoppable. I like that. He is pretty unstoppable at this point, isn't he? Look at this army. Like, we've got so many units which are just sat around just waiting.
I'm gonna stick you.
Waiting for their leader.
Come, my brothers.
He's not going to be able to get all the way over there. We just crushed him.
Yes,
You go over here.
conceal our movements.
Building units. We are...
How may I serve? For the light.
Get across there, can't we? Let's do that. We're going to get some of our stronger units out onto the field now. Although I say that, we don't actually have the... Well, we're getting a unit of Gwyrvileg. Or Gwyrvileg? But yeah, those are monsters. We want a unit of them. I'm going to play my newly modded Fallout New Vegas today, boys. Here's to hoping I didn't install everything wrong. Modding can be fickle. Spies, diplomats stopped by the AI, so you have to re-click them to their destination. Yeah, that's just a relic of Medieval 2, though, isn't it, really?
Without question.
Spy?
Tomorrow,
My lord. Yeah, there it is. Tirith Anduin. I'm glad Rohan took that, actually, because if I went down and took that, they may have actually collapsed. They may not have had the infrastructure to support themselves. Which obviously wouldn't have been ideal. We're still... recruiting units all over the place. But yeah, modding I think is it can be satisfying when you get everything up and running. Like, one thing that I've got is a Skyrim thing, because there's all of the Beyond Skyrim modules that are being sort of made. I want to play them as they come out, but I've got all my mods already there and I'm just going to keep it installed as it is. so that I can do that. Will you commentate on Shogun 2 battles? I wouldn't be averse to doing another Shogun 2 campaign at some stage, but battles I think are a different question because they are quite short and sweet. Not to say that Shogun 2 is a bad game, of course, it's not. It does a lot of things very, very well, but it was the first, really, of those of the Total War titles for the battles to be quite quick. But I suppose that makes a good amount of sense with Shogun 2, at least, because of the way that it's supposed to play out. I got a new desk today to replace the fold-out table, so much better. A suitable husband for Arwen. Yeah, sure. Erebor besieged. Send an emissary to Mordor. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and not do that. You can go this way. I'm going to send you to the front. Get some units in there. Right, we need to start pushing outward. These guys are really keen on me having to slow down, aren't they? Well, Celeborn's going into Dol Guldur. This army here will probably be enough, to be honest. Can we build anything else in here? We can. Sentries. It's close to the front line, but do we really need to?
Follow me.
Lim here. Another unit of spearmen, you get in there. Okay. They gave away Shogun 2 free not long ago. Yeah, Shogun 2 is a good one. Definitely one of the... a lot of people refer to Shogun 2 as the last, like, good Total War. I think that's being a little bit harsh, but it is a sentiment that quite a lot of people do hold. Now they have the cheek to run. Very good. Now they are gone, and in fact we can actually get back into the settlement as well. So let's have a look. We can get 7 units in there, which will include... This actually is a pretty good... I missed the settlement. That's a shame. We're going to build up another force, I think, in Aknod, so that we can then garrison Dol Guldur in behind Celeborn as he moves forward. I think that's going to be the key here. A practice range allows us to build some Lorien archers. Sure, helps us future-proof a little bit. What are your thoughts about Rome 2? Rome 2 is a game that now is... It took too long for Rome 2 to become what it should have been from the start, and I think that's always poisoned its perception a little bit. Which is a shame, but what are you going to do, right? It is what it is. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and Rome 2 made possibly the biggest fumble in that regard of it's possible to make. Can't move out the full 20 stack with the... Well, Ricky, I'm going to move up the little garrison force which is in the village now, up to Dol Guldur. And then I will move, because I'm already moving another general forwards, and I will move him into the little village. As soon as we start really moving into Dol Guldur, though, like, we should be able to wipe them away. That's the thing. It's just setting up a nice force that we can use to attack. Western Moria besieged. Khazad-dûm seem to be having a pretty good time of it. Fornost is under assault. But yeah, this guy here is going to start moving forwards. And this guy, I think we'll just keep him in there, actually. The Gurvalag's still being built. We are making money, but I want to start increasing our capabilities elsewhere. An armourer, for example, really wouldn't go amiss in Karas-Galadon, which is what we're going to do right away. And we can't actually afford now to build out as a result. Right. It's risky, but I think it is actually worth our while to head up this way with this army. Right, and there we go. Let's move up this way. Construct a watchtower.
need that one.
That's good.
South the area. Orders completed.
Oh, the Woodland Realm have taken Ostingiliel. Okay. We actually have a border with Thranduil. We might be able to next turn make the Sylvan Alliance script fire. So that's what Thranduil's been doing. Excellent. Am I back at university? Not quite yet. I think it'll be sort of mid-September, mid to late September when they let us back, I believe. Well then. Thranduil. Which Total War do I think was the worst? I assume we're not counting the mobile game in that. Or the weird one they did, what was it, Arena, which was sort of a completely different type of game. So assuming they are not counted, not sure to be honest. Oh really? Where did they come from? They didn't even march. I'm just going to take it back from them anyway, so I don't really understand what the point of that is. This campaign has descended into being really quite annoying, to be honest with you. Isengard have been annoying, Dol Guldur have been annoying. They've all just been the worst. Assault. How come I'm not getting reinforcements? Are they not in range?
Come, my brother. By the light of Elbereth. Engage.
Maintain the siege.
Have your weapons ready, elves. Come, my brothers.
Weird. Okay. It's easy to forget sometimes that this is a game from 2006, so some of its features are maybe not very refined, and again, the reinforcement, like, my unit's literally on the other side of the castle. They should be able to join in the siege, but because they're not close enough to the army, it's like, nope. Sorry mate, they're too far away. I just want to move on to Mordor. I just want this campaign to enter the fun bit instead of this like garbage that we're doing at the moment. Okay. This is a little bit more like it. So reinforcement, they are in reinforcement range. Good. Right.
Fight to the end.
Okay. This time I'm going to act in this battle with great paranoia.
Await my orders.
Oh boy. Oh, it is on the Dol Guldur battle map, which is quite interesting. Right. Okay then. Interesting. Are they going to empty out of Dol Guldur to come and meet me? I think they are, which is nice. It is quite an imposing looking fortress, even if mechanically it does have some issues. They shouldn't be able to catch us, to be honest, either. I think we're going to be too swift for them. Although they do have a massive hill advantage, so we should maybe consider taking a wider angle. Take your time, lads. Do-do-do. No, yeah, Mordor will be just another orc slog, but it'll be in a different part of the map at least, and I won't have to dance around in these trees with Dol Guldur. I won't have to constantly be playing tag with Isengard, and it'll be different units even if they are somewhat similar in terms of how they look, unless I get the ring. Well, yeah, if I can get the ring, I will. It just depends on where it spawns. Like, if it spawns in Goblin Town again, I think I probably would try and go for it, to be honest with you. But, wait a second. I see an issue here. They can't get onto the map, can they? Because there's no way to get down off this cliff. It's an enclosed cliff area that they can't get down. So the reinforcements aren't going to arrive. Okay. We will be reloading that one. The game isn't doing me dirty like that. That's an active change they've made to the Dol Guldur map then. Like, that's something that the Divide and Conquer team have actually changed about the Dol Guldur map. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you build cliffs all around it so reinforcements can't arrive?
There are too many.
Bizarre. Really, really bizarre. I don't know how far back that is, to be honest with you. I think it was just the last turn before, wasn't it? Let's try that one. I'm not losing another general to bull like that. I hate save scumming, but the game doesn't give me much of a choice when it tries to pull stuff like that on me. Doesn't matter where the deployment zone is though, because that cliff was all the way around the outside of Dol Guldur. There wasn't an angle where the reinforcements could arrive, because there was a cliff. And it was a perfect square as well. It was a change that... No, they're just gonna... Hold on. I'm gonna see how far back this one is actually, because the autosave is sort of got me locked in on that course. Auto running that battle will probably end up with me losing way too much. If it was from the turn just before this one, then I don't think it's too much of a problem, because we know that Thranduil has taken Ostin Galil, so it'll just be us playing tag in the village. What's going on here? Okay, so it was before Thranduil, or Celeborn rather. So that's a small army, isn't it? That's an army of 4. Back here. Okay, yeah, that's not too far away. Okay, that'll do.
Come, my brothers. Elven warriors. Sire, I'm gonna stick
Ooh,
you.
hello there.
Follow me. Yes, my lord.
You found yourself in the wrong place, haven't you?
We've defeated their wretched armies.
Engage! Our lands will be safe once more.
This way. So far, this has been frustrating. Very, very frustrating. We do have some cats, yeah. Right, you're still there. Right, you're back over here. I don't think we actually need this many units down here.
Elves. My lord. Yes, my lord.
To the point where I'm actually going to send them up here.
At ease.
We'll keep...
Elves.
Yeah.
Swiftly.
Those 3, we can retrain them because they've got a lot of chevrons, so we can retrain them in this area. It's just 2 units. Yeah, this is, I think, as good as it's going to get, unfortunately. Oof. One day, eventually, the game will let me go on the offensive. But it's really digging its heels in, saying, no, we're not going to let you. You're going to be playing whack-a-mole with trash for the next 10 hours. Two armies. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I did technically have until the game did me dirty like that. Yeah, that happened before. Yes, we want that. Yes, that happened before. That happened before as well, bizarrely.
Yes, my lord.
Go this way. Right, you two. Go here like so.
Be vigilant.
Still building. We've got not a huge amount of money, but enough.
Sire. Like the wind.
Yeah, that's nice. This army here can be ready. This unit can get ready to move out. Quite happy down there. Okay. Hey Master Blaster. So from the intermittent streams, UMAD's goal is to go south and conquer Mordor. Well, the goal for Lothlorien is to finish off Dol Guldur and Mordor and to own 20 regions, which there's no worry about owning 20 regions if you're having to deal with Mordor. Like, that's just that's inconsequential really, because it'll happen regardless. Unless, of course, there's always the possibility that Gondor defeat Mordor before I arrive, but I think that's being quite optimistic. Yes, Dustin, apparently, according to the tooltip. Which is strange, I know. I think for a lot of factions it's like 40, but there's still a long way to go for that, because we've still only got about 7, and we can't seem to escape. A Master Bladesmith's Guild. Sure, Dol Guldur will get there eventually.
For the light. Come on.
You join up with them.
Swiftly. Conceal our move. For the light.
Get into that fort. And what else? We don't have enough money really to be spending on other frivolities, but we will start getting units ready to move forwards. Okay. Could be short-term goals. Well, it said the long campaign victory. It might be a typo as well, to be fair. I would place more emphasis on that being the case. Khazad-dûm continuing to be at loggerheads with Moria. Maybe we should do the Sylvan Alliance script at some point soon as well, but finding a space to actually do that is becoming more annoying, because we have to have a force back in Caryscaladon. Gondor is getting obliterated by Mordor. Well, that's the one thing I think in this campaign which hasn't been supremely awkward for me, is the fact that Gondor have just held firm. Denethor is dead, but that just means that Boromir must be in charge now, and I mean, that's an upgrade, let's be honest.
Stay in the trees.
Erebor has fallen again. Hopefully they can reclaim that. What is this?
I'm gonna stick you.
Hello there. Camul's Shadow Rangers, Maulers, Mirkwood Goblins. That's a decent little force they've got there. Not quite as decent as ours, however, and I do think that it's actually in our best interests to go after them now, because it means that we can be on the offensive immediately.
My lord.
And we're going to get some units further forward
For the light.
into the fort there.
Yes, my lord. Swiftly.
Yeah, that'll be good. And then we'll have another decent stack. And we can start to build a port, tradable goods, Hall of Culture, free upkeep units, public order bonus. I don't know if that's really necessary, to be honest, though. What have we got going down in Rockburg? Did we actually build that vineyard in the end? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah, Leather Tan isn't useless down there, really. Master Builders Hall. It's all a lot of money. To be honest, I'm actually maybe an artist studio here to try and convert the culture, but other than that I think we should probably just get down to the nitty gritty. I will save this now just in case we get done in again. Yeah, Khan probably has been the reason why Gondor have done quite well.
Follow me. For the light.
Okay then. So we're going to fight this battle on the map. This might be enough to break Dol Guldur back, to be honest, because this is a massive army they've got. I'm determined to take at least one bloody settlement from Dol Guldur in this stream. I want some visible change on the map, instead of just this nothingness that we've had up until this point. Right, Celeborn himself. We're on the open field in the same sort of land where Haldir perished, so I mean, we'll have to wait and see if he suffers the same fate. A lot of these units actually were the ones that were with Haldir at the time. But we have a lot of infantry as well, to be fair, so I mean, as long as we get a decent... hold on a moment, let's get some swordsmen. Let's organise a little bit better. Right, so we got some swordsmen. Right, this group. I'm actually going to keep them in tight formation because wargs, the presence of wargs might be a thing that assails us. Athenan can come up over here so we can sort of try and overlap. Spears. Spears need to remain with our general at all times, as I have learnt. And that, I think, is pretty much that. We've got some cavalry as well. What are they going to do then? I mean, I'm technically the attackers here, so I would assume they're probably going to back up onto a hill like the AIs want to do. They're moving. But yeah, they're going to move. They're going to make this awkward. So yeah, this is unfortunately going to be another one of those protracted battles. Instead of the action getting underway quickly, we're going to have to play this game with the AI once again. And I can't really turn it up to 6 speed either, because who knows when the AI suddenly decide to change their mind. Oh Jesus, there's a unit of sellswords over there which I forgot to move. Right. Get ready to try and overlap with the Gerthenan. They're going to keep just steadily moving backwards, I'm sure. At the very least, Celeborn should be good against wargs, but I really just don't trust it at this point. Don't trust that the game's going to give me a fair rub of the green in any capacity, really, after that ridiculousness with the reinforcement zones in Dol Guldur. That's a conscious decision that the developers have made as well. It has to be, and it's a bizarre one. Really, really strange. Actually, let's get into a position over here. Where'd those spears go? There they are. You get over here, I think. Swordsman. I don't know if like the Silmarillion, I think, would actually be harder to make work than people appreciate as a like a show, at least to my mind. You would need exactly the right people to be making it, and I'm not sure that's going to happen with the Lord of the Rings show as it is currently, let alone with something like the Silmarillion. Right. We are significantly downhill, but we can, I think, because of the extreme range of Celeborn, I think we can get them to come towards us, and then we can start hammering away at them with the ballista if they can move forwards a little bit. Oh. Right, let's have a look here. Is he in range of the Uruk Slayers? He isn't. Once again, they're moving. Positioning is going to be really awkward here. It is kind of now or never, I think, because otherwise we're going to get absolutely nothing in terms of territory, because Dol Guldur are getting eaten by pretty much everyone else, which is a sign that taking their capital has had a detrimental impact on their overall well-being, which that's nice at least. I think the difficulty of these shows the lack of Mirkwood Uruks. We might actually be able to get uphill of them here. Okay, let's just push you up this way. Move you over here like so. Right. If we can get into a nice position here. Are they going to just continue to run away from me this whole time? That would be a bit of an anticlimax. Right, you are still not in range. What about this legendary elven accuracy in range then? Where's that from? Where's that to, Celeborn? I'm expecting big things from you here. Fear that the Lord of the Rings series designates into the Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to make it akin to Game of Thrones, even though it's, you know, it's clearly not what should be happening. Right, you are not what I need. You, however, let's see if we can't convince them to come forward. Berioti Engelaith. Push forward a little bit as well. Ooh, Uruk Slayers. That's an excellent unit to be targeting. It is actually quite bizarre that they've decided to afford me the hill, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think the I would prepare for a Game of Thrones-esque type deal where they try and make it gritty, which is obviously not the point of any of Tolkien's works at all, really. At least it's not supposed to be the main focus. I think it would be folly to try and approach it in that way, but I think that's exactly what they're going to do, because it's what the executives would believe to be the thing that will sell the most, which unfortunately is going to be the focus for a lot of these decision makers. This is probably a key battle, actually, to be honest, as far as this campaign goes, because I think if we end up winning this one, I think we're probably in a position where we can pretty safely assume the back of the campaign may be broken, at least as it regards to Dol Guldur. No, actually, you go here. Fight me, for crying out loud. You've got an army the same size as mine and you're just... Oh, were they actually moving forwards? They may very well be. Uruk Slayers. I'd put Uruks. Maulers. Sure, shoot the Maulers. It would be an impressive battle if the Orcs decided they wanted to move in, but we should be so lucky. They are moving in now, which is nice. Orc Maulers are there. Taking hits from enemy archers now, which is a sign that they are going to move in at least. Actually, you know what? Right. Hold on a second. Let's just get into it. They're shaken? Really? That's unbecoming of them for a unit that's apparently so strong. Orc Maulers. Let's see. You keep shooting into them because if I have my way, you won't need to worry about being attacked. You lot can move in as well, and we will also get ready with the Gerthinen. Dogaldor Host. No, go after the Maulers. Actually, that's a much better use of your time. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's the get into the Mirkwood Goblins. Actually, in fact, let's go down to half speed while this is happening. Okay. So if we can't get into a position over here with the ballista, Lothlorien Warders. Let's get into a position there with them. Cummel's Shadow Rangers. We should absolutely start shooting at. Uruk Slayers. Right, now actually let's move in with our strike infantry as well. We can continue to... ooh, those are Orc Hunters. Stay away from me with your filthy javelins. Yeah, those Cell Swords, victory is a distinct possibility. Shoot into those Mirkwood Goblins as well, actually. Yeah, Caliborn, can you not split your unit up into multiple different avenues of attack? Orc Maulers. Those Uruk Slayers are leaving the area. Yes, and now we've got our Glaive Infantry as well. And now we're going to be able to get into them with some Shock Infantry as well. Let's not commit our Ballista, actually. I think it's a poor idea. Dogaldor Host. Let's get into the Orc Hunters. Right. There we go. I could really see Corrupted Numenor being in some adult content. Sneak was made for people like us. Hello, Windy. Nice to see you. The thing is, though, like Numenor is... there is wiggle room with Numenor, but I'm not sure how they're going to portray Numenor. As with most of the human elements in Lord of the Rings, it's deeply flawed. But I'm just wondering in what way they're going to show that. Yes, this is what I like to see. I honestly worry for the whole premise. Well, yeah, I think, to be fair, like entertainment companies, like the people who really make the decisions at the base level, they haven't done much to engender a great deal of confidence in their decision making, to be honest with you. So you can't really blame people for being very skeptical. Right, let's get some cavalry action on the go. Selfishly, I hope they remain faithful to the intent of Tolkien's work. I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that should be the expectation. But it's not the expectation, because everyone knows that, to be fair, it's something I have actually thought of doing a video on to explain my thoughts, but I don't know who is in charge of the project, but I think that and their past work and their form, their track record will let you know what kind of thing it's going to be. If it's someone who's too big for their boots, if it's someone who clearly has got a bit of an ego, and then I don't think that anything good can come from it, to be honest with you. Because they will prioritise their own thoughts over the thoughts of someone like Tolkien, which of course is extremely egotistical, but it's also the kind of people who are in charge, and it's the kind of people who get protection on a regular basis from these companies. I honestly don't know how some of these people remain in work. There is actually an upper limit, however, on how much damage someone can do and still remain in employment, as has been seen. Like the people who did Game of Thrones rapidly got removed from all of their very lucrative projects, which I find to be hilarious, to be honest with you. They had the world at their feet and effectively made a mess of it. And, you know, their ego was rather large, and in the end it came back to bite them, which doesn't happen as often as it should. Get into those goblin stalkers, actually. Can you catch anything? Oh yeah, catch them. We definitely need to be doing as much damage as possible to all of these units. Driving the army before us. Does Tolkien have a lot to say about the time setting the TV will be set in, though? Well, that is the thing. Like, there's a lot of areas where someone who is creative could potentially do quite a lot as long as they remained faithful to what Tolkien was doing. Because there's a lot of places, honestly, like, I've always maintained that one of the places most fertile grounds for expansion would be Rhûn in the Easterlings. Like, there's a lot that can be done with them, because honestly there's not that much. Hey you man, have you ever read Tolkien's letter to a Nazi German publisher asking if he was Aryan? No, I haven't. I fear for the future of television fantasy as a whole. What have we got going on here? I think this is pretty much the end of days for them, isn't it? Oh. You go after them. And you kill them. I think that is going to be that, isn't it? Sellswords, they're slow. Let's see if we can catch up with them as well. The letter was true sass. Basically told the Nazis off. Well, that's to be expected. And that is that. So I think we will have dealt Dol Guldur a stinging defeat here. Game of Thrones set a standard for fantasy shows. Well, to be fair, Game of Thrones in the first 4 series was a standard that would be worth living up to. Maybe not the tone, but the standard. Only 39 elves lost. That's exactly what you want to be seeing. But it's a complicated thing, really. It will all come down to whoever I think is in creative control. Because even the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, in many ways, it probably shouldn't have worked based on what was sort of gathered. It was really just sort of by pure chance that it ended up working as well as it did. And a lot of that obviously has to do with who's in charge. And Jackson, obviously, knew what he was doing. Crushed underfoot. Right, just in case of a crash, I'm actually going to save it as well, because I don't want to have to do that one again if it crashes on the end turn. Right, let's see. You're still there, they're still there, building up an army there. We have money with which we can buy some things. I'm honestly thinking more of these guys, to be honest. They're so good. Like, the morale shocking capabilities are just too good to pass up, to be honest. We have already built a blacksmith, but I actually want to keep some money so we can get the Sylvan Alliance script on the go at some stage. Let's build a watchtower as well.
We will need that one. Like the wind. Onward, elves. We must give up.
I think that's Dol Guldur as well. You. I think we want to keep someone in a Dry Chan though, don't we? Rockburg. Do we need anyone? Do we really need anyone down in Rockburg? I mean, I think probably an army wouldn't go amiss. How much do we lose money-wise? A lot of money if we move him out. Okay, so we'll keep him there. Aknod. Move you forwards. Okay. Beauty of Lord of the Rings was very limited use of CGI. Yeah. I think... Yeah, like, I think the design of the original... To be fair, a lot of the designs in... Well, some of the designs, I'll say, in The Hobbit were pretty good. Maybe not the goats, but that aside, there were some decent looking things in The Hobbits. Like, I particularly liked as when they set out, like, when the dwarves set out from Hobbiton, like, the attire they're in, especially Thorin, like, that Ered Luin look. I quite like that. What have I missed since Haldir's untimely death? We're still pushing back, but I mean, we do have a border now, apparently. Imladris is besieged, but there's no real need to worry about that. They never lose their land there. Right. It's more important to have a governor in Dol Guldur, but these units can stay back here because Dol Guldur isn't going to be attacked anytime soon. We're losing cash, apparently. Oh, no, we're not now. But, yes, let's... There we are, look. And that is not a garrison that is going to withstand us. Okay. Finally. Been looking forward to this. Imladris is besieged. Imladris don't need help. Like, Moria have besieged Imladris, I think, 5 times at this point, and every time they've gone away with a bloodied nose. Moria have got other problems as well, to be honest with you, because Khazad-dûm keep knocking on the door, and eventually they will knock it down. What have we got here? Walls? Okay. Let's get all of our archers in one place. We don't actually have any March Wardens in this army, which is a shame, but... These two as well. Okay. So we'll get them ready. We'll put the spears in behind them. And the rest... What have we got over there? More units of such things. Okay. Right. Just roll forwards a little bit with the ballista. Would love to see a series played as the High Elves. Well, the next campaign won't be as another Elven faction because it'll need a little bit of variety after all. But eventually, I mean, this is the series which, you know, will continue indefinitely for the time being. So, I mean, no one is off the table in the long run. What do we got here? Nothing that is too worrying. Okay. I don't know if they've actually got any archers even, because it's a garrison force, so they may have archers, but even if they do, it's probably not the best. They've got javelin men and Mirkwood Uruks, and I think those were maulers, weren't they? Look at this, look at them cowering. Lord of the Rings series. Well, yes, I suppose now, actually, considering the situation, we'll get our ballista, park it right in front over here, and get everyone else just in behind, ready to move forward as and when they are needed. Okay. I don't really want to be going after the shielded units first, but tell you what, if we just move in like so, first of all, and then get these over here, like so, because we don't have anything else to do until the artillery arrives. Are they in range? Some of them are. Okay, let's get forwards a little bit further then. Want to be going after the unshielded ones if we can, especially with Celeborn. Right then. That's more like it. We'll be shooting them more or less from the front, but all we need to do is soften them up. Be interesting to see actually how much damage we do, because I think these are the slightly beefier Dol Guldur infantry units we're facing now, Mirkwood Uruks. They do look a little bit more impressive at the very least. Yep, they're running for the hills, but there's nowhere for them to run, unfortunately. Let's see. Casting is going to be interesting for the Lord of the Rings series as well, because that's something that even The Hobbit did well. Like I said, I think that they got the casting for Thranduil especially was fantastic, but I think the guy playing Thorin did a pretty good job as well. And the guy playing Balin, I liked him. Okay, hold on a second. I know what to do here. Martin Freeman as Bilbo, yes, that was another good one. This is good. Hugo weaving as Elrond, yeah. But well, all of the returning character casts were obviously good, like Kate Blanchett as Galadriel, Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Sir Christopher Lee as Saruman. Dane, yeah, Billy Connolly was Dane, wasn't he? That was an interesting choice for Dane. Knock knock. We might need to get forward quickly, however, with let's move forward with the sellswords. And whoever this is. Warders I don't really want. Swordsmen. Let's be a little bit careful of this though. Charging that. They're coming out of their settlement now, which is nice for us. Benedict Cumberbatch. Defeat is a distinct possibility. Say it ain't so. Lucky human fighters that get to fight with Dol Guldur. Not Dol Guldur, Mirkwood. Not Mirkwood, Lothlorien. I'll get the right name out eventually. Defeat is a distinct possibility.
Our men have slain the enemy general.
Interesting that their general was in the Dol Guldur host unit, probably the weakest of the units that they've got. Because even the scouts, they've got a actually, yeah, let's just get on with the business of shooting the units that are within the fortress. What's going on over here? Yeah, go backwards. They're shaken. I'm amazed the Dol Guldur host haven't actually completely broken yet. It's a testament to the fact that they're actually not too bad. Well, they are dreadful, obviously, but not first class of the year in 17 minutes. Ah, you start now, do you? Well, that's it's good to be making progress, is what I would say. After like a long layoff, at the very least, I'm actually looking forward to the prospect of actually going back and making some progress. And those Orc Maulers are getting bullied. Oh, you've made a dreadful, a most grievous error. What's this? Mirkwood Uruks. Actually start shooting at them. That group of archers over there. Yeah, they can keep firing at the run in now. That's what the situation calls for. Bit of support from the archers on all sides. Finally, some forward momentum. Oh, they're actually coming out of the settlement, that's quite interesting. They're going to reform, but that's not really terribly scary. Lothlorien sentries, they're going to go around this way as well actually, and in fact let's move up another unit of Lothlorien sentries just to make sure of things. Right, those maulers finally are broken. Keep kiting them around. Yeah, we're good now. Caliborn can keep shooting them. In fact, I think we can send over these other archers, because at this point I think it's just melee that we need, really.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yes, we will. A-levels. Good luck with A-levels. A-levels, to be honest with you, obviously, I don't know what they call them in other countries, but like it'll be the US equivalent of high school. But I actually found A-levels to be the most difficult part of the path, because like university, you get to focus on one thing a little bit more, and you get to sort of really get your teeth into it. Whereas with A-levels, because you're doing like a few different things to focus on, I did find it a little bit trickier. But having said that, I think with A-levels, like it's as long as you just keep up with the work, you'll be absolutely fine. At least that's how I felt about the whole thing. Continue to shoot at them. Yes, they don't stand a chance now. Probably my favourite unit so far, honestly, the Gerthinen. They've just been so useful for breaking things up, especially against Dol Guldur. And it is a sign, perhaps, that I should be investing more into my melee now that I do have the ability to... Yeah, high school. So A levels is like 16 to 18. Is the ages you normally do them. Ancient history, doing history, ancient history, which I guess is like a sort of optional, additional thing that you do. Music and English literature, so it'll be essays galore. Yes, it will. Not necessarily the worst thing though, because I've noticed that you'll be graded. I think while essays are probably harder to do overall, I think that grading on essays is less harsh than it is for exams. So I wouldn't actually worry too much about the how. Mirkwood Uruks. But it's a good thing that we're dealing with Dol Guldur now, because they are going to start pumping out some slightly more scary things, and while we still have a significant advantage, we should definitely try and make hay while the sun shines. Bit of infighting going on there. There we go. Perfect. 15 elves lost for that settlement. Only 15. I think I have a plan in my head actually of how I'm going to do this now. So I think I'm going to move forward with the army that's in the little village that we already had at our disposal. This really should be Dol Guldur like falling to pieces now, if Merc would have already made that much progress in general. Dor Lingvar. So we've got a Lothlorien watchtower there. We've got a dude in here as well. We're already making more units. But I do want to... Cannot purchase as I have insufficient funds. Well, that's a shame. Let's see. We could actually do with some archers back here, couldn't we? I think we'll wait on that one. We'll build some more units in here. Yeah, Gerthinen. Sounds good to me. And that will be that, so I will just save as well, just to make sure. I go face my academia. Good luck, Dustin. My final exam got cancelled due to COVID. Well, yeah, actually, the exams I was going to have in spring got changed to be essays, basically, because they couldn't do the exams, but it was also more hassle to actually reschedule them to now, because some people wouldn't have been able to delay that long. It wouldn't have affected me so much, but it would have affected other people on my course, so they just changed it to be essays instead, which I preferred. This guy. Sure. Kaer Andros is under attack again. Aknod. Dol Guldur. Let's have a little look and see settlement details. Elven culture is growing. So that's something to be thankful for. There's nothing really we can build in here, to be honest with you. We can build more archers, I suppose. Okay, what have we got here? Yes, we want one of you, definitely. And actually, let's just... Let's just go for the little bit extra for the March Wardens. Why not?
By the light of Elbereth.
We actually have another general we can move forward as well, which will help matters. Okay. I don't think we have free upkeep slots. In fact, yeah, based on the fact that we don't really have free upkeep slots over here, I'm going to move some of these spears back. Rohan look like they're going to hold now anyway, so I think we're good for that.
Yes, my lord. Yes. What is it you wish to discuss?
Let's see. How about... Oh, we've already got trade rights. Huh. Alright. Well.
Good day to you.
Good day, Gondor. I bid you farewell. Maths, glad I left that behind. Which university do you study at? I study at Plymouth. It's one of only 3 places that do the course that I'm doing in the country, and one of the others is London, which is hideously expensive, and the other I believe is Glasgow, which is a long way away of course because it's in Scotland. Right, so I think now what I'm going to be doing is trying to prepare the ground so that next time we can try and make the Sylvan Alliance script fire basically right away. Osgiliath is under attack. We failed a mission. War declared between Dunland and Bree. I mean, Bree were struggling greatly, right? So it's a little bit surprising that they're still up and about, to be honest with you. Right, you... In fact, both of you can move over here. You two can continue to move backwards. You can also... Actually, we'll wait to move them into Carascaladon, because I think... How many free upkeep slots do we have in a place? In this place? Settlement details. Doesn't say, does it? I'll tell you what, we can check now. So projected profits 419. That's not what I wanted to do. This 756. So actually we do have more free upkeep slots in Carascaladon, which is good to know. Still making some warders. Those two will be back there as well. This guy, High March Warden Pollen Goldor, which is quite a mouthful of a name, will be adding himself into this army, and then we can move forward from Aknod as well, because we then don't have to worry about being surrounded. We can just sort of move down this way, and there is a road that will... What is this? Okay, well that is... I mean, it is worth going after, to be honest with you.
Elves, take it for the elves. We protect the elven lands. Engage!
Yeah, we lost 100 soldiers there. Let's construct a watchtower. Why not? I mean, there's going to be a riot there next turn, but that can't be helped, I suppose. So I think they probably still have the brown boat settlement, which is that one there, I think. Or it's around here somewhere. But don't think we need to worry about that too much, right?
Yes, my lord.
Let's go moving up this way actually with you.
Stopping here.
We've got our spy that we can continue to move over here as a sort of mobile watchtower. Look at all these Rohan armies. I wonder if they're on the way over here as well. That'll be interesting to see. Okay. I'm sure it is, but what I'm looking forward to study at university and beyond has nothing to do with maths, so I probably won't be studying it again. It depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're doing a technical subject or a science, like, you will probably do a bit of maths, but it won't feel like it because it's math with a goal, for lack of a better word. So it won't feel quite the same. For example, I'm doing hydrography, and the maths involved with that, you do stuff with coordinates and you do stuff with other bits and pieces with regards to it, but it doesn't feel like it because it's actually got a practical application. So it's a different matter when you're doing stuff like that. Ooh, the Steward of Gondor is dead. That might be Boromir. No. Hornburg is sieged. Rohan, please. There's rioting. There's no need to be concerned about that. That's not good. I think Gondor are finally starting to feel the pressure now. Look at that. Osgiliath is lost.
Come, my brothers.
What is this? Dalian army, neutral.
Onward.
Oh, so Dale are here. King Bane.
Follow me.
Right, what have we got here? So we've got the full extent of this army. You get back into a dry charn. Communal farming. Might not be the worst idea. You two continue back.
Conceal our movements.
Let's see here. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yes, my lord.
You lot get in here.
Follow me. For the light.
No, these aren't. These are roads actually.
Onward.
So we will move that way.
Give up the road.
It's risky to send a unit like this forward fairly. Wonder what would have happened if Germany had gotten the A-bomb. Nothing good. Ballista maker. Door. Lungvar, so we could go for an artist studio here, which I think we will do, to be honest, and then an armory will follow, just so it doesn't riot quite so readily. So yeah, I think next time we will finally be able to get the Sylvan Alliance script on the go. I wonder as well if the Sylvan Alliance script actually does have the impact on the Thranduil as well. Will he be able to... The enemies of Dale have penetrated deep into Dalian territory. Things seem to be falling apart now.
Yes.
The Falls of Rauros. You have reached the Falls of Rauros, which are the great falls of the River Anduin neath Nen Hithuel, where the river falls from Emin Muil to the wetland of Nindalf. The gates of Argonath consist of two enormous pillars carved in the likenesses of a Isildur and a Narion, standing upon either side of the River Anduin at the northern approach to the Nen Hithuel, originally constructed about 3rd Age 1340 at the order of Romen Dasil II to mark the northern border of Gondor. Amon Hen reached. You have reached Amon Hen. It is also referred to as the Hill of the Eye. It is one of 3 peaks at the southern end of the long lake Nen Hithuel, above the falls of Rauros. On this hill, the seat of seeing is constructed, which is told to give one sitting in it far sight. On the opposite side of the River Anduin lies Amon Lor. Here the seat of hearing was constructed. These remnants of former glory date back to the early days of Gondor, when the northern borders still guarded from all evil. Interesting. So that's actually my diplomat, isn't it? Okay. We need to get a move on here if we're to support Gondor in the way that we wish to. We don't have an army at all in there, do we? Which is risky, but let's...
Like the wind. Over here, elves. Onward. Like the wind. Over here, elves.
What's this? That is a garrison. That is an army. Okay, well let's wait there, because I think that army will actually be satisfactory to defeat that force, as long as they don't have another one. Dale, you need to hot-foot it back up to your land. You're miles away from your capital, and it's being attacked. Not that I don't appreciate your support against Dol Guldur and all that, but there's a time and a place.
Yes, my lord.
You go in there. We're not making that much money. The Gruveleg will definitely be very helpful. Right, so we could go for some units, or... well, we can't really build any buildings at this point, so we may as well go for some units. And I think, considering this is more of a defensive battle we're inevitably going to have to set up, I think actually it would probably be behooving us to purchase a couple of swordsmen. Okay, let's just save it real quick, just in case of a crash. I think if we can take Dor Naurhak here, that will probably be where we leave the stream, because that will probably be a good point to then start thinking about doing the script. And we still have one of our named generals, technically. The youngest brother of Haldir is watching over Karas Galadhon for us. And with Dale in the north, I think that means that Celeborn will actually be safe to move southwards. I think it would probably be best if we send a spy up there just to see what's going on. If Thranduil and Dale are doing their thing against Dol Guldur, then we can move down. The Nerniath Eonadayad, I know that I'm saying that wrong, there is a way of pronouncing it properly, but it's the Battle of Unnumbered Tears. The death of the Chief of Dunland, that's the second death of such a person. Anorian under attack. Minas Tirith is under siege. Caer Andros is... yeah, Gondor are doomed. They're dead. They're done for. They're done out here. They were doing so well for a time, but I think this is where they meet their end. Because they've lost Osgiliath, they've lost Caer Andros, Minas Tirith is... they're back up against a wall. I don't think I'm going to make it in time, unfortunately, for them. Ooh, hello. Let's go. So we can take this town. I mean, we will have a border with Mordor then, technically speaking. Ah, and actually we've got new terrain that we're fighting in as well, which is pretty neat. So we've got our general over here, Elbereth Sentinels, who actually is... that's a pretty big unit of Elbereth Sentinels, to be honest with you. I wonder who this guy is. But we don't have the most amount of archers. We do have a unit of Cav. And we do have, perhaps rather importantly actually, we do have some of our better units now. We've got a unit of Yavanna's Chosen. Just get a quick look at them actually. They're like an all-female unit, I think, so they're all female elves. And they're our first phalanx unit. Halberdiers. If we can get a good amount of them out onto the field, then frontline fights will cease to be an issue against orcs, to be honest with you. And then this is the new unit of line infantry we're really going to be wanting to make use of. The Sentinels of Carin Amroth. You can see the obvious upgrade over the regular unit in the fact that they're wearing sort of more dedicated armour. But we do still need to be a little bit careful. Can't afford to get too big for our boots here. Like, this is a good golden opportunity really that we have now to start actually making things happen. Where are the depleted units? Right, there. Okay. Right, hold on a second. Let's just pause it. You go over here, like so. That's where the enemy army is. Wonderful. In fact, just to make sure we have a good position, let's just roll out as that, and then this can be our auxiliary force over here, only being committed if absolutely necessary, and hopefully it won't be. Okay. Right, the spears need to run. Sorry I was gone for a bit. What have I missed of the stream? I'm not sure. I'm not sure when you left. Are they going to run? I would... yes, they are. Okay. Well, highly questionable, but Or are they? Are they going to move forward? I mean, this is the hill that you want to be taking. Mirkwood Uruks, Goblin Stalkers, Uruk Slayers, probably the most dangerous unit that we're going to be facing today. Okay, well I'll tell you what, let's see if we can't convince them to come forward. They don't actually have any wargs, so it might actually be worth our while to be a tad more aggressive. Although that has bitten me in the past, we shall see. Haldia died. Helm's Deep is retaken. Dol Guldur is almost destroyed. Gondor is also crumbling. Gondor is rapidly lost Caer Andros, Osgiliath, and now Minas Tirith is under siege. But if they lose Minas Tirith, they should get access to their sort of panic button stacks, as it were, which is designed to sort of make it so that they sort of try and survive a little bit longer. And one can hope that that will be enough to give them the boost that they need to last just a little bit longer. Right, what have we got here? Yes, this is definitely the unit that we need over here. Let's get ready with a flanking force. Wait a minute, where are the Uruk Slayers? I guess it doesn't matter too much as long as we're hitting something. There are the Uruk Slayers. Yes, this is what I like to see. What have we got back here? Ooh, a nice unit of swords. You two, get ready to move in as well. Yeah, they're done for. Mirkwood Goblins, I think not. Shoot the Uruk Slayers. Get ready with the cav. Yes, we're going to start to get some of our genuinely strong units. Not really a match for the Yavanna's Chosen, I don't think, though. Yeah, keep shooting at the Uruk Slayers that are down the hill. Oh no, don't charge in there just yet. We'll actually save them until we need to run units down, to be honest with you, I think. Yeah, we'll charge in now. Should be a decent charge. And it was. And it broke his general. Marvellous. Yeah, keep going after the Uruk Slayers, actually. Right. And then... yeah, keep pursuing them. Chase them down. Magnificent.
Guard him well and make it so he can see us defeat the rest of his army. The enemy army flees the
no, we need to kill all of them really if we can. Didn't even take that many losses on our spears, to be honest with you, who are holding the line doing the dirty work. Which is good to see. Get into those Dol Guldur host. Keep chasing those Mirkwood goblins. Can we get after the Dolgledor host, please? That should be good. We should be golden there. Ah, they're good. They're broken and fighting to the death, actually, so they can stay. We're going to catch them. Good. They're only goblin stalkers, but every little helps when you're talking about taking a settlement. And they are still after the Dolgledor host. Good. Unit of cavalry's got already some decent chevrons to it. There's only one goblin left, I think. Well, there was one goblin left.
Be awed by the victory we have won here today.
0 soldiers remaining, with only 22 losses. I think that's a good victory. If I can start marching south with an army here and perhaps with Celeborn. I think the issue though is going to be that we need to strike out from a place of strength, really. Because we're going to need to reinforce our armies, which is not the easiest thing to do. As the elves, as I have learnt. No, we're going to execute them.
We've defeated their wretched armies. By the light of Elbereth, scatter them. Lay it to ruins.
Two turns. 2 turns. Okay, we will maintain the siege. Elsewhere, let's see, Dale are sort of spreading out a little bit, which is nice. Only 1,000 gold, which again I think we want to keep. Because Thranduil still might need his palms greased in order to accept the alliance. Rohan is going to get pincered. Well, hopefully not, because even if Gondor falls, by the time that they do, I'll be attacking Mordor from the north. That is the plan. And hopefully it'll be from a place of strength as well, because Erebor have kind of let themselves down a bit, but Dale seems to be quite strong, and Thranduil seems to be doing quite well for himself. Anduin Vale is still somehow alive. I don't know how. If Erebor have had their capital taken, I don't know how Anduin have withstood Gundabad. But it is an interesting campaign, I'll say that. One thing I was... Mordor Supreme. The shadow spreads across Middle-earth, enveloping all within as it picks up speed. The savage lash drives the hosts of Mordor onwards, ever onwards, and the corpses build in startling numbers. Man-flesh for the hosts that slew them. The red eye is branded on the heads of the fallen. Walls tremble and gates fall. Cities lie rent and burning, and the women and children lie slain in bleak malice. Can nothing halt this massive expansion, stall the forces that seem endless in number? Snow Orc Dominion. Yeah, this is what I'm worried about. It's Gundabad is what is growing. I mean, Anduin have actually stood fairly firm against Gundabad, but Erebor have not. Which is worrying, but Thranduil is there as well, so I mean, it's not as if Dale will have to face them alone. A Dry Charn. We are kind of losing money at this point, which is not ideal, but let's see.
Come, my brother. Assail them.
Let's assault. Assault the walls.
Send them back to their underworld.
I think technically my heir was Haldir. And my heir is dead, so I assume based on that my new heir is Rumil. Look at the elven siege weaponry there. This is probably the largest looking settlement we've actually sieged on the battle map, other than the custom settlements. So obviously like Dol Guldur. I think Orthanc is probably the single biggest map we've seen on the actual battle map thus far. Gondor haven't lost Minas Tirith yet though, apparently, so I mean that could be the sort of thing which bloodies Mordor a bit, because it will mean that they have their doom stacks that can spawn. You wait back there. You shouldn't, well, no, you shouldn't be the ones carrying the ladders. You should though. Swordsmen are what we want really carrying them. So I suppose, well, yeah, that makes sense as well. Okay, let's go for a unit of spearmen. You sit in behind here, you go there like so. Let's make sure everything's back just a little bit so that we don't get bantered by the arrow towers. Right. Yeah, goblin headhunters. It's amusing that I have better range than them, even though I'm on lower ground and they have fortifications. Just having a little look around. We do have stalkers, that's nothing to be concerned about. Uruk bodyguard, Dol Guldur host, Mirkwood Uruks. Actually, you two go over here. Where's the other unit of archers? This one, yes. Because you have less range. The supreme range of the Lothlorien Marchwardens. I think actually the Marchwardens are slightly better at range than the Galathrim archers are. The main difference being obviously the Galathrim archers are very, very good in melee as well, because they're effectively heavy swordsmen, as well as being archers. But range-wise, I think the Marchwardens do hold a slight advantage. Yes, excellent. Again, our archers aren't going to win this battle for us. We are going to take some losses by having to muck in melee, but if we can sort of whittle down their archers, they won't have the ability to stop us from storming the walls as we choose. Which is nice. But yes, I think this will probably be the last battle we do on this stream, actually, because it's about the right time to start drawing to a close anyway, based on the sort of standard length we seem to have established. But also it leaves us in a position next time where we can jump right into trying to make the Sylvan Alliance script fire, which I think is definitely something we should be looking at doing. Because then we can start building some Mirkwood units as well. Just look at this. Look at the... I love the Marchwardens. Them and the Gurthinen. Solid, solid units indeed. Do we have a use for archers further into the settlement? Honestly, probably not. Fire in that. And now it's just a case of waiting until we expend our ammunition. Wait, we're taking damage from an arrow tower. Of course we are. You can stay back here then. Softening them up nicely for the assault. And of course then we can use these units in melee, which in the case of the Elbereth Sentinels is probably going to be pretty useful as well. One second, let me just check something really quick. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I wonder if the not sure if the YouTube if the log is showing properly in the on the Xbox app version that I'm using to try and keep track of the chat. Okay, so that's pretty much all she wrote with regards to our archers. Have you got Gurvaleg yet? Yes, I do. I have one unit of them in Karaskalathon, which we will probably see for the first time when the stack spawns that comes as a result of the script for the Sylvan Alliance. Okay, wait a minute. So you, that section of wall, you, that section of wall, and you, that section of wall, and you start pushing up the ramp. But yes, that's going to be a unit that I'm greatly interested to see in action. The joy that is arrow towers in Medieval 2. Extremely powerful stuff. This is one of the reasons why I could really do with a ballista, to be honest with you. Like, look at them, they're all going for the Sentinels of Keren Amroth as well. But that will soon end as we take the walls. What have we got going on back here? Let's get ready to move in with some of these units.
Our men have reached the walls with their ladders.
Here we go.
Towers have reached the walls. Now the butcher's work.
It can apparently kill one unit of any in 2 shots. Yeah, I've like in terms of like wiping out individual units, they are like one of the best units in the game. It's probably the most unique unit Lothlorien have actually. Mirkwood Uruks. I mean, Mirkwood Uruks, to be fair, with their high armour, probably pretty decent against my lighter spears, but they're going to have Sentinels of Keren Amroth giving them a hand as well. What are you lads doing now? The goblins are doomed as well because they're going up against swordsmen. Okay. Right. In fact, you get in here.
Our soldiers have proved their worth today.
You get in there, definitely.
Like this, we will smash the enemy.
Keep our cavalry and our march wardens back. Some of the stuff we're going to want unscathed because this is going to be a fairly damaged garrison. Although Dol Guldur don't have to have any lands further south. We'll have a border with Mordor, I believe, and they're not technically at war with us yet. Let's get our Yavannas chosen in there. Let's see how well they can do. Gerthenen can go this way. They're running away. Look, they know. They know that they have already lost. Excellent. How strong is Dol Guldur still? I think they're on their last legs. Like, Mirkwood and Dale have taken massive bites out of them, and I'm starting to wipe them away now as well. You, Lorien archers. Ooh, Dol Guldur hosts. That's not what we want. You charge into them, actually. Surprised the goblin headhunters haven't fallen yet, actually. Sure, you come forwards, actually. Ah, shite. That should be enough to deal with them quite easily, to be honest with you. Alberus Sentinels. Don't really want to lose my general, but we need him in the action, I think. Dol Guldur host. You get in there as well. Let's bring our cavalry in as well, I guess. Why not? What have we got to lose? Only everything. Still 20 headhunters left, which is somewhat surprising. The longer this battle goes on for, the longer these super annoying arrow towers take their toll. At least those goblin stalkers are taking damage at that's an alarming rate for them anyway. Well, actually, let's go this way with them. Let's see if we can get a nice rear charge into these Dol Guldur host and break them. Right. Yeah, those goblin stalkers are getting damaged quite heavily now. I bet that's the general right in there, isn't it? No, I don't think it is actually. This, no. Where is the general's model? Kind of hard to tell because he looks very similar. Okay, you actually come back. I don't trust you at all to not just go on a suicide mission. Defeat is almost a certainty.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
These arrow towers. It's so annoying because, like, even though you take the walls, the towers remain in possession of Dol Guldur, which is not really correct at all. That shouldn't be how it works, but it does. Right. In fact, yeah, you just get down here now. Like, look at how much damage I've taken from the walls just because of the towers, because their infantry has barely touched me. But no matter. It's dumb, but it's something that's always been in Medieval 2. It's much worse when you get like ballistas on the walls instead of archers. Then it's go time. Then it's on. Could we show a little bit more urgency, please? Alright. And let's see if we can't go around as well. Okay. Building lost. Okay. What's going on here? How many of my sentries we've lost. How many of my Gerthinen we've lost as well. But fortunately in the town centre actually it doesn't really have much of an impact. That's such a pathetic charge as well. Get up to charge speed for God's sake. I don't know if it's a DAC thing or if it's just a campaign thing, but like some of the units don't feel as responsive as they do in Reforged. Like they just don't feel quick on the draw at all. See, look at this now. See, they're going so slowly. Hey, Hassan. Well, there goes the enemy general at least. And the halberds with their AP will prove useful. And at the end of the day, I don't really mind if this is a little bit costly, because I don't think Dol Guldur have got anything further south of this, and that will allow us to sort of get reinforcements over here quite readily. Charge in there. Rook Bodyguard is even... Unfortunately, Hassan, it's like the end of the stream. This is the last battle that is part of this one, because it's pretty much the end of Dol Guldur, I think, once this goes down. More or less, anyway. Those halberds have actually done really, really well up close and personal. Surprisingly good pronunciation of my name. Well, I did actually know someone back at school called Hassan. It was a surprisingly, like, the group I was with basically for my information technology class, like the computing class we did. Like the group I was with included one guy from it was Arabia, I think, and another guy from India, a girl from Barbados, and another guy from Poland. It was quite an interesting group of people. The next stream will... I'm not entirely sure yet, because there is something going on this week where I'll be going into university at some point. But I'm not sure what day it will be on. It won't be tomorrow, I know that. The next stream will either be Wednesday or Thursday, one of the two.
Our men have taken control of the castle. Our men no longer command the castle.
Yes, these Yavanna's chosen doing their thing. That's going to be the end of them now. Surprisingly resilient little Dol Guldur force, that though. More resilient than I was hoping for, certainly.
Our men have taken control of the castle.
This surely has got to be the end now. There they go. They're routing and reforming constantly in the town centre, which is funny to see. Thank you very much for being here, Kelvin. And like I said, I will post up a little message probably tomorrow when I have a better idea of what's happening, when the next stream will be, but it will be on either Wednesday or Thursday. That much is guaranteed. Goblin headhunters. Kill those, man.
This is a clear victory.
We lost more than I would have liked, but it can't really be helped when you're talking about the Medieval 2 settlements like that. There was a horn blast and a rush of feet, and orcs one after another leaped into the chamber. That should be Dol Guldur's southernmost settlement under our control now, and it gives us a launching point into Mordor, really, but we'll obviously need to reinforce before we
must defend these lands.
before we do that.
Guard this area.
Occupy that settlement, absolutely. And you have already moved. You have... look at this though, more like Rohan, they are... The Dead Marshes reached. You have reached the Dead Marshes, where several battles were fought, most notably the Battle of Dagorlad at the end of the Second Age, when the last alliance met the forces of Mordor with many casualties amongst elves, men and orcs on both sides. Through the years, the Marshlang has begun to encroach upon parts of the battlefield and engulfed the dead that lay there. But Mordor are coming over here, which is kind of interesting. I mean, the Black Gate is over here, so we're not actually that far away from Mordor in the grand scheme of things, because I think this is just one big region, to be honest.
Yes, stopping.
So, the Dead Marshes. But yes. That's a border, so maybe Dol Guldur. Yeah, Dol Guldur do still have a region down here actually, which is kind of a concern, considering the somewhat delicate situation we find ourselves in. But depending on what sort of regions they have around here, we can scout them out, and I think defensively we should be in a better position. We might be able to buy some mercs as well. I'm not going to buy anything with these anyway. But yeah, I was going to get 2 armies really to get ready to go south into Mordor, but we'll obviously need some quality on hand as well, which isn't going to come from that. This is a big force though. Baratheon. Actually, you can, because we don't have anyone in. No, we do have someone in a Dry Shan, don't we? We don't have anyone in Aknod, which we could do with. So you can actually leave the area. We've got a load of profits, so look at that, 3,000 profits on the way, ready to go. And we're still waiting for... Oh, we don't have any recruitment slots, that's why. That's why we didn't... recruitment slots allowed to... So we need to buy that if we want to recruit more units here, but that's not really a concern for us at the moment. Dol Guldur, we can't really afford to buy anything, so I'll just save the game just in case it crashes on the end turn. And we might still have one more piece of work to do, depending upon if Dol Guldur try and take that town back immediately, but somehow I doubt it. Dale. Hopefully Dale will do a better job at holding back Gundabad than Erebor did. Erebor is still alive, but I imagine that's more by the grace of Dorwinion dealing with Rune more than anything else. But we finally have a position to move forward. A mixed stream, to be sure. The demise of Haldir was a low point, but finally sort of stopping Isengard's march and pushing Dol Guldur back means we are finally on the right path, I think, which is good. As soon as we have enough money for an armory as well, we should build it in Celeborn's settlement so that we can leave it without it immediately rebelling. Yeah, Gondor sets out to reclaim Minas Tirith. So this is Gondor's stacks spawning, because they must have lost Minas Tirith. Yeah, they did. And that is going to be the end of the stream, so I will save it there. Big thank you to everyone who has joined me today. It's been a fruitful campaign, or a fruitful day in the campaign, if not one that hasn't been perfect. Obviously, with Haldir's loss, we took the loss of a very seasoned general who was, for the first part of our campaign, the most important one. But we do now have the ideal staging grounds really to continue a push into Mordor, and Rohan are also coming across here now, so maybe this is it. Maybe this is Rohan's great redemption arc. I would still suggest they should probably focus on Isengard, because Isengard have recovered, albeit that independent fort is still there, and that could be their saving grace, which is good. I mean, if us and Rohan can ride to the aid dramatically of Gondor, that I think becomes quite a nice sort of final act of the campaign really. But it all depends on whether Gondor can remain alive until we get there, because it will still take us a little bit of time to mass up a force which is worthwhile to declare war on Mordor with. But yeah, overall, reasonably happy with how it turned out in the end. Like I said, the next stream will probably, well, it will be on either Wednesday or Thursday. I just don't know which one it is yet, because I need to wait and see what the plan university-wise is for the week, because there is something I need to do, but I'm not sure on what day it will be. There will also be a video out tomorrow, though. It will be a Silmarillion Total War replay, which will be on the way out. There were a couple of desync issues in the game because of varying versions of the game, but ultimately it didn't have a massive impact on it, to be honest with you. So it's still worth checking out. So that will be what comes out tomorrow, and then possibly the day after will be a stream, but if not, it will follow on Thursday. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will join me for whatever is next.